In the remote reaches of northeastern Thailand, imagine a sight both surreal and ancient. A family of colossal stone whales seemingly swimming through a dense verdant forest. These aren't creatures of flesh and blood, of course, but a breathtaking rock formation sculpted by time and the elements over 75 million years. Picture this. Eons ago, this very landscape was a sprawling desert. Then, the relentless grinding forces of the Earth's crust began their work, pushing sandstone upwards, giving birth to these majestic, whale-like mountains. Accessible to any adventurer willing to embark on a day-long trek along winding trails, this geological marvel is drawing increasing numbers of visitors. And as you finally crest the back of one of these colossal whales, gazing out upon the endless ocean of green stretching below, you'll instantly understand the allure. The trails themselves are a treasure trove, leading past cascading waterfalls, a vibrant tapestry of exotic plant life, and teeming with unique animals. From the very summit, you can even glimpse across the border into neighboring Laos. The shapes are undeniable, evoking the image of a pod of whales gliding through the water. It's no wonder this place is known as Three Whale Rocks. Imagine experiencing Thailand from the vantage point of a giant stone cetacean. Now let's journey to Canada, to a mine where in March of 2011, a worker unearthed something truly extraordinary. He had stumbled upon a remarkably preserved specimen of a Nodosaur, Nodosauridae. This extinct armored dinosaur, a herbivore from the Cretaceous period, would have weighed around 3,000 pounds and stretched to a length of 18 feet. What makes this find so exceptional is its age, over 110 million years, combined with its pristine condition. You can clearly discern the heavy body armor, the intricate patterns of its scaly skin, almost as if it were alive yesterday. It required nearly a year of meticulous, painstaking work to carefully extract and unveil this incredible fossil. Finally, in 2017, it was revealed to the world in a Canadian museum. And the surprises didn't end there. Analysis of the skin revealed subtle shading, suggesting that this nodosaur may have possessed the ability to camouflage itself, much like modern-day geckos or moths. This, in addition to its already formidable spines and scales, truly made it a walking tank. Still under intense study, this Nodosaur specimen has the potential to become one of the most significant fossil discoveries in recent memory. The incredible level of detail preserved within its remains could unlock even more secrets of our planet's distant past. Consider, if you will, the Voynich manuscript, arguably the most enigmatic document on Earth. Since its discovery in 1912, this ancient book has defied all attempts at decipherment. Its pages are filled with strange and elaborate illustrations, bizarre, otherworldly plants, enigmatic objects, and recognizable astrological symbols. But the true mystery lies within its script. The language used throughout the text is utterly indecipherable. No linguist, no codebreaker has been able to crack it. We don't know what it says, who created it, or even where it originated. We can't even be certain whether it's a real functional language or a constructed one, unique to this single text. The botanical drawings only deepen the mystery. While many of the depicted plants are clearly intended to be plants, they defy identification. They simply don't match any known species, living or extinct. Though a professor of applied linguistics in England once claimed to have deciphered a few characters, no further progress has been made in unraveling the secrets of this mysterious tome. Now, let's travel to the rugged landscapes of Queensland, Australia, and explore the mystery craters. Tucked away halfway between the towns of Bunburg and Gingen lies one of Australia's most perplexing geological puzzles. And that's saying something, considering the continent's rich history of unique natural wonders. Back in 1971, the land belonged to a farmer who cultivated zucchini and potatoes. As he attempted to expand his fields, he kept encountering large, immovable rocks while plowing. Upon closer inspection, he discovered marine fossils embedded within these rocks, as well as a series of strange circular depressions in the earth. Intrigued, the farmer shared his findings with geology professors, who promptly launched an investigation. As the geologists began to excavate the area, they unearthed a vast layer of sandstone and ochre-stained earth, riddled with craters. In total, they identified 35 distinct craters, and the rock layer itself is estimated to be around 25 million years old. The scientists studying this unusual site believe that a combination of factors may be responsible for the craters, including ancient hot springs, past oceanic activity, and even meteor impacts. Finally, consider the Antikythera mechanism, an ancient device so sophisticated that it continues to baffle scientists. Roughly 2,000 years ago, a Greek ship met its end off the coast of the island of Antikythera. The shipwreck was discovered in 1900, and divers recovered a treasure trove of ancient artifacts. But as archaeologists began to catalog their finds, they stumbled upon an object unlike any other. The wreckage was undeniably ancient, yet the device they discovered seemed impossibly advanced for its time. The mechanism functioned as a complex mechanical calculator capable of tracking time, predicting the movements of celestial bodies, forecasting eclipses, charting lunar phases, and even counting down to significant events like the Olympic Games with remarkable precision. This level of technological sophistication is almost incomprehensible given its origins in an ancient Greek shipwreck. No comparable mechanism would appear for another 1,000 years. Not all amazing discoveries need to be thousands of years old to be fascinating. Let's rewind to 1966. The Beatles, the biggest band on the planet, performed their hit Paperback Writer live on the iconic TV show Top of the Pops. But here's the twist. The BBC, incredibly, didn't record the performance. For years, fans mourned the loss of this piece of music history, believing it was gone forever. But hold on. A Beatles enthusiast named David Chandler, armed with his personal camera, secretly filmed the show. This precious recording was then tucked away, lost but not forgotten, in his attic for decades. In 2019, it was rediscovered. A remarkable find, indeed. Now, let's journey back even further, curious history buffs. Have you ever heard the tale of the ancient giants of Nevada? Yes, we're talking about colossal beings said to have roamed the earth thousands of years ago. Giants, you ask? It sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, but archaeological discoveries keep this debate alive. The intriguing Lovelock Cave, used as an ancient burial ground, has yielded remains that are significantly larger than typical human bones. Picture this. Lovelock Cave, nestled near the Humboldt Sink in western Nevada. This area was once part of a massive lake that eventually dried up, leaving behind smaller bodies of water, including the Humboldt Sink. The cave became home to the enigmatic Sinkholes tribe. Legend paints these people as red-haired giants, so immense that they had to be buried within the cave itself. Later excavations unearthed skeletons measuring an astounding 8 to 10 feet tall. The story began to take shape in 1886 when a mining engineer named John T. Reed spoke with the local inhabitants. Upon seeing the cave, Reed knew he was onto something significant. Word spread like wildfire, but the cave also attracted another kind of attention. Rich deposits of guano, a valuable fertilizer, were discovered within its depths. In 1911, a mining company began extracting this resource, eventually shipping over 250 tons of fertilizer to San Francisco. Sadly, many human remains and artifacts were lost or neglected during this process. This prompted official archaeological excavations in 1912 and 1924. After the top layer of guano was removed, strange and fascinating objects began to surface. The earliest evidence of human habitation dates back approximately 4,000 years. The Lovelock culture thrived for around 3,000 years, leaving behind an incredible legacy of over 10,000 artifacts. The pits within the cave acted like a series of time capsules, each layer revealing secrets from different eras. Archaeologists meticulously determined the age of each pit based on its depth. It became clear that various groups had used the cave for storage over vast stretches of time. The items they stored offer a tantalizing glimpse into their cultures. A giant, ancient storage unit brimming with hidden treasures. So, what else did researchers unearth besides the giant bones? Some bodies were mummified, employing techniques similar to those used by the ancient Egyptians. These remains also shared a characteristic with bodies found as far south as Lake Titicaca: red hair. However, some scientists propose that the reddish hue could be a result of environmental factors affecting the remains over time. The tale of the red-haired giants remains a captivating mystery, but not everyone is convinced. Some experts suggest that the bones found in Lovelock Cave might simply be the remains of prehistoric animals, such as mammoths or sloths. Others firmly believe that there's more to the story, a deeper truth waiting to be uncovered. Adding to the intrigue, finely crafted baskets and exquisite duck decoys made from tool fibers were also discovered within the cave. Regardless of the truth behind the legends, Lovelock Cave undeniably deserves the attention it receives. You can even visit the cave today and witness the pits of varying depths with your own eyes. But be warned, it's located in a hot, dry, and isolated landscape. Now, let's turn to another incredible discovery that seems ripped from the pages of legend. Archaeologists believe they found the palace of Odysseus, the legendary Greek king of Ithaca and hero of Homer's epic poem, the Odyssey. Forget Indiana Jones. We're talking about real-life adventure dating back to around 1300 BCE. This palace is believed to be the only one mentioned in Homer's epic poems that has yet to be found. The excavations have taken place on the Ionian Islands, and the views from the ruins on Ithaca perfectly match the descriptions in the Odyssey, according to the professor leading the excavation team. Known to the ancient Romans as Ulysses, the Greek hero spent a decade wandering the seas before finally returning home to Ithaca after the fall of Troy. For many years, Homer's other epic poem, the Iliad, which recounts the long siege of Troy by the Greeks, was also considered a myth. But then, in the 1870s, the city of Troy itself was rediscovered in modern-day Turkey. Imagine stepping back in time, not just centuries, but millennia. What if the epic tales of Homer, passed down through generations, held more than just fictional accounts? A team of researchers believed they could unearth the very home of Odysseus, guided by the ancient poet's words like a treasure map. The excavation unveiled a complex structure, a building sprawling across two distinct levels. Here, amidst the dust and soil, lay tangible clues. Storage rooms hinting at royal provisions, workshops echoing with the sounds of ancient artisans, an intricate drainage system showcasing advanced engineering, and fragments of pottery whispering stories of a bygone era. Most strikingly, a well dating back to the 8th century BCE, precisely when Odysseus was believed to have reigned, emerged from the earth. However, the echoes of skepticism linger. Robert Bidstone, a British researcher, raises a dissenting voice, arguing that Homer's description of Ithaca bears little resemblance to the island we know today. He proposes a radical alternative, that Odysseus's kingdom was, in reality, situated on the island of Cephalonia. Yet, perhaps Adriano La Regina, an Italian archaeologist, offers a more grounded perspective. He suggests that regardless of whether this discovery directly links to the legendary Odysseus, the unearthing of this royal palace remains a monumental achievement. The discovery of a palace of this size and age is of great historical importance. Now, let's journey across continents and delve into the realm of Native American legends. Picture a land nestled in the heart of south-central Oregon in the western United States. Here, the Klamath Indians have spun a captivating tale about the creation of Crater Lake. According to their ancient lore, this breathtaking lake was forged in the crucible of a fierce battle between two volcanic titans, Mount Mazama and Mount Shasta. As the earth trembled, the spirits of the land and sky joined the fray. Lao, ruler of the underworld, clashed with Skell, the chieftain of the upper world, transforming the conflict into a cataclysmic geological drama. Darkness descended upon the land as the battle raged. Ultimately, Mount Mazama succumbed to the forces unleashed, collapsing and banishing Lao back to the depths of the underworld. The resulting void, a massive pit, gradually filled with rainwater, giving birth to the lake that now graces the landscape. Fast forward to our modern era. Scientists have confirmed that Mount Mazama did indeed erupt approximately 7,700 years ago. Archaeological discoveries in the vicinity provide compelling evidence that the legend contains kernels of truth. The tale recounts red-hot rocks soaring through the sky, a phenomenon directly linked to the volcanic eruption that triggered the mountain's collapse. This cataclysmic event sculpted the volcanic caldera, which subsequently transformed into the stunning lake we see today. What makes this legend particularly remarkable is its enduring nature. Researchers estimate that verbal traditions tend to lose their accuracy within 600 to 700 years. The crater lake creation story defies this trend, standing as a testament to the power of generations accurately transmitting information across centuries. Today, the volcanic crater lake resides within a national park, renowned for its mesmerizing deep blue hue and exceptionally clear waters. If you were to visit this natural wonder, the water you would witness would be completely different from that seen by a visitor in 250 years, due to the fact that there are no rivers flowing into or out of the lake. The existing water evaporates, and the lake gets filled again by rain and snowfall. In essence, the water undergoes a complete replacement every 250 years. Furthermore, with a depth of nearly 2,000 feet, this lake holds the distinction of being the deepest in the United States. Swimming is permitted, but only one designated trail offers safe and legal access to the shoreline. Other activities abound, including fishing and boat tours, allowing visitors to immerse themselves in the beauty and mystery of this geological masterpiece. Shared human experiences, such as birth, marriage, and aging, may explain why certain tales are shared globally. Similar struggles and obstacles faced by humans around the world generate similar themes in traditional stories about love, parenting, and mortality. So, what legends or tales have you heard from your grandparents? Who knows, perhaps your ancestors, too, witnessed a cool historical event. Imagine you've just concluded a sightseeing tour of Edinburgh, Scotland, a journey lasting just under an hour, leaving you yearning for more. You inquire with your guide about other hidden gems, and they begin to unveil the secrets of a mysterious underground city. You ask how long it would take to get there, and you're shocked by the guide's answer. You're standing on it. It's right under your feet. The South Bridge. The story unfolds in the mid-1700s. Back then, the Scottish capital was much smaller. Only around 60,000 people called the area surrounding Edinburgh Castle home, all crammed within the confines of medieval walls. Buildings soared skyward, often reaching 14 stories, blocking out sunlight. Imagine cows meandering through narrow, winding streets, leaving their mark on the city. The famous English writer Daniel Defoe remarked, "I believe that in no city in the world so many people have so little room." Imagine a bustling city, a hub of commerce and life. Now, envision a hidden world beneath it, a secret buried in stone. That's the story of Edinburgh's South Bridge, a tale of engineering ambition and unforeseen consequences. It all began with a pressing need to connect the northern and southern parts of the city. The solution? 2 grand bridges. The first, to the north, was swiftly erected. Then, in 1785, work commenced on the second, a vital link between the main pedestrian thoroughfare in the north and the university buildings to the south. But this wasn't just a bridge spanning a river. It was a viaduct, a majestic structure connecting 2 hills across a valley. The very word viaduct echoes back to the Romans, master builders who pioneered these impressive feats of engineering. Their capital, Rome, famously sprawled across 7 hills. Not to be outdone, Edinburgh also nestled among 7 prominent hills, though only 2 remain clearly visible today, the others obscured by centuries of urban development. Back in the late 18th century, constructing the South Bridge was an extraordinary undertaking. In a mere 3 years, builders completed this marvel. 19 stone arches stretched across a chasm that plunged 31 feet at its deepest point, with a total length exceeding 1,000 feet. Impressive, even by modern standards. But here's the twist. This seemingly ordinary bridge concealed an extraordinary secret. The South Bridge was designed with a hollow interior. As you stroll along the street above today, a vast man-made cave system lies hidden beneath your feet, popularly known as the Edinburgh Vaults. What purpose did these vaults serve, and what secrets do they hold? Initially, the intention was noble, to create merchant shops within the bridge's underbelly. For a time, it worked. Merchants occupied 120 vaults, using them as shops and warehouses. Cobblers, taverns, and workshops thrived in this subterranean marketplace. However, a fatal flaw soon emerged. Water. The stone leaked relentlessly, and the vaults were perpetually damp, prone to flooding. The builders had neglected to waterproof the structure. Merchants, fearing damage to their goods, began to abandon their underground shops. As legitimate trade vanished from the vaults, the city's underclass moved in, along with various shady characters. Historians know little about this dark period, as written records are scarce. But even squatters couldn't endure the harsh conditions for long. How could anyone truly live in these vaults when business couldn't even be conducted? They were damp, cold, lacked ventilation, sanitation, and natural light. The stench alone was unbearable. A real estate agent's worst nightmare come to life. A mere 30 years after their completion, the South Bridge vaults were abandoned completely. Above ground, however, life continued as normal. City officials, concerned about security, decided to fill the vaults with rubble. Buried and forgotten, the memory of Edinburgh's once teeming underground merchant quarter slowly faded. Now, the story takes an unexpected turn. In the 1980s, a Scottish rugby player stumbled upon a tunnel leading into the vaults. Without hesitation, the athlete and his son began excavating, removing tons of rubble. A decade later, the South Bridge vaults were, in a sense, restored to their former glory. Dark, damp, and echoing with the ghosts of the 1700s. Numerous intriguing artifacts were unearthed within this subterranean city. Oyster shells, a staple food for Edinburgh's working class at the time, were scattered throughout. Shoes and empty bottles suggested that people had indeed lived within these claustrophobic spaces. Consider this the next time you see someone trying to rent out their garage as an apartment. So, there you have it. There truly is a hidden city beneath the streets of Edinburgh, or at least, beneath one street. You've descended from the main pedestrian street into Cowgate. Look up, and you'll see the only visible arch of the once impressive bridge. Perhaps you're already searching online to book a tour of the vaults, eager to witness this incredible place with your own eyes. But Edinburgh isn't the only city with a mysterious underground. The historic region of Cappadocia in central Turkey conceals no fewer than 36 subterranean cities. The largest and most impressive, discovered in 1963, dates back to the Byzantine era. It was built to safeguard the local populace from invaders. While we have similar structures made of concrete in our modern cities, the scale and complexity of the Turkish underground city are truly astonishing. There are several imagine a subterranean world carved deep beneath the earth, resembling nothing so much as a multi-story parking garage. We're talking about a network of caves and tunnels plunging nearly 200 feet underground. That's 2/3 the height of the Statue of Liberty. These ancient cities, found in places like Cappadocia in Turkey, could shelter a staggering 20,000 souls at any given time, complete with livestock and enough food to last them. Picture the scene: a hidden metropolis, buzzing with life, a refuge from the dangers above. It's a far cry from your average Major League Soccer match, which draws a similar crowd. These incredible underground havens are often tucked away in rural areas, which makes perfect sense when you consider their purpose, to provide a secret sanctuary. But venture into Europe, and you'll discover a city whose subterranean labyrinth rivals even the famed vaults of Edinburgh. We're heading to Pilsen, in the Czech Republic. But forget the world-famous local brew for a moment. This is a tale of a medieval city that thrived beneath the bustling streets of Pilsen. A sprawling network of water wells, cellars, and passageways stretches for over 12 meters beneath the surface. Merchants and craftsmen utilized Pilsen's historical underground for vital storage: water, food, ice, you name it. The waterworks alone are a marvel. Historians estimate that a staggering 360 wells lie hidden beneath Pilsen's historical town center. In times of turmoil and conflict, these passageways became lifelines, offering safe harbor to the city's inhabitants. And they certainly didn't go thirsty. Today, these mysterious underground cities are a major draw for tourists, eager to explore the secrets hidden beneath their feet. But let's journey across the Atlantic to Canada, where we find an underground city that's not just for show. It's a living, breathing part of modern life. The construction of Montreal's underground city began in 1962, initially conceived as a way to manage traffic. Or, to put it more bluntly, city officials were building a metro station. But the idea quickly blossomed, and the project expanded into something truly extraordinary. Now, it's a sprawling urban maze hidden beneath the downtown core. Need a place to stay? There are hotels down here. Feeling peckish? Step into one of the numerous underground restaurants. The complex boasts shops, a library, cinemas. The list goes on and on. There are even residential complexes. But how can people truly live underground? The answer is simple. While the city itself lies beneath the surface, access points are at ground level. You can enter this incredible 20-mile tunnel network from over 120 different locations. Now, let's shift our perspective, soaring back through the vastness of time to a period when our planet was, in a sense, dozing. Earth was spinning around the sun, minding its own business, when suddenly, life exploded in a riot of color and complexity. Plants and animals began to strut their stuff, showcasing the wonders of evolution. But fast forward to about 65 million years ago, and a cosmic catastrophe struck. At least that's the prevailing theory. A massive asteroid, perhaps miles across, slammed into Earth, triggering a cataclysm that wiped out the dinosaurs and countless other large creatures. While the exact details of this impact remain shrouded in mystery, we know it was a devastating event, creating a cloud of dust and debris that blanketed the entire planet. Even today, you can find remnants of that dust layer preserved in sedimentary rocks. Dig beneath it, and you'll unearth a treasure trove of fossils, the remains of those prehistoric creatures who lived and thrived before the asteroid's arrival. Imagine the planet undergoing a massive cleanup, leaving behind a world of empty niches waiting to be filled. And who seized that opportunity? Mammals. These small, furry creatures, previously living in the shadows, were about to rise to prominence. But why did this disaster prove to be such a boon for mammals? The answer is straightforward. With the giant reptiles gone, there were no more bullies around. Mammals flourished, diversified, and their populations exploded. Primates, rodents, all sorts of furry critters joined the fray. We're talking about placental mammals, marsupials, and even egg-laying mammals, adding an incredible variety to the evolving ecosystem. We often consider primates to be our closest relatives on Earth. What's their story? Around 63 million years ago, just a few million years after the dinosaurs' demise, the primates decided it was time for a family reunion of sorts. They diverged into two main groups, the dry-nosed primates, which would eventually give rise to the monkeys and apes we know today, and the wet-nosed primates, who branched off to become lemurs and ayes. But the story doesn't end there. About 58 million years ago, the dry-nosed primates embarked on their own evolutionary journey. A unique character called the Tarsidae, emerged, sporting enormous eyes perfectly adapted for nocturnal hunting. This Tarsier forged a distinct path from its primate cousins, embracing its unique niche and evolving independently. To this day, the Tarsier remains the only primate that is exclusively carnivorous. These little predators have a taste for insects, small birds, and other tiny creatures. Imagine a world ruled by creatures so small, yet so exquisitely adapted that they dominate the inky blackness. These are the tarsiers, tiny primates whose existence hinges on the ability to hunt in the dark. These nocturnal hunters prey on insects, rodents, and even the occasional unwary lizard. But their uniqueness doesn't end there. Their eyes are truly remarkable, possessing a size twice that of their own brains, an evolutionary marvel. And that's not all. Picture this. Their heads possess the uncanny ability to rotate a full 180 degrees, mirroring the hunting prowess of an owl. These adaptations make the Tarsiers true monarchs of the night. Equipped with a superpower, ultrasonic tracking, they can pinpoint their prey with astonishing accuracy. Their legs and feet are coiled springs, poised to unleash them into a lightning-fast attack. This remarkable leaping ability is owed to a specialized ankle bone, the tarsus, from which they derive their very name. But let us leave these miniature marvels to their nocturnal pursuits and return to the grand narrative of life's unfolding story. Fast forward to approximately 55 million years ago. The Earth experienced a dramatic surge in temperature, a sudden heat wave that pushed many deep-sea organisms and plant species beyond their limits, resulting in their demise. Yet, as the saying goes, every ending marks a new beginning. This period of upheaval presented a golden opportunity for the oceanic mammals known as cetaceans. Whales and dolphins, among others, seized this moment, plunging into the vacant ecological niches and ascending to become the undisputed rulers of the seas. Now let's imagine a special primate guest making its debut roughly 47 million years ago. Paleontologists bestowed the affectionate name Ida upon the fossil remains of such a creature. This tiny primate caused quite a stir in the scientific community. Initially, some hailed Ida as the coveted missing link in human evolution. But here's the twist. It turned out that Ida was not one of our dry-nosed primate relatives, but rather a charming wet-nosed primate, belonging to a different branch of the primate family tree. Leaping ahead to 40 million years ago, we witness another pivotal event within the primate world. The New World monkeys, our distant cousins, embarked on a divergent evolutionary journey, separating themselves from the lineage of Old World monkeys that would eventually lead to us. These intrepid primates packed their figurative bags and ventured forth to conquer the vast landscapes of South America, where their descendants thrive to this day. What distinguishes these two groups of monkeys, you might ask? One crucial difference lies in their noses. Old World monkeys possess nostrils that point downwards, a subtle yet significant anatomical distinction. Around 25 million years ago, another intriguing group of apes emerged onto the scene. These primates possessed a unique characteristic, the absence of a tail. These remarkable creatures would ultimately give rise to our closest relatives, the apes and great apes, the charismatic clan that shares a substantial portion of our genetic blueprint. The first ape to break away from the monkey lineage was the gibbon. This acrobatic primate swung into existence approximately 18 million years ago. A few million years later, the great apes made their own grand entrance. The orangutans led the charge, venturing into the lush wilderness of southern Asia. The timeline draws ever closer to the present day. 7 million years ago, the great apes reached a critical juncture in their evolutionary trajectory. One path veered towards our ancestors, the future Homo sapiens, while the other path led to the chimpanzees and bonobos, our closest living relatives. These two primate lineages remained intertwined for a few million years before ultimately diverging along separate evolutionary roads. Approximately 5.6 million years ago, a groundbreaking ape known as Ardipithecus entered the annals of evolutionary history. This primate possessed a remarkable talent, bipedalism, the ability to walk upright on two legs. Ardipithecus was among the first apes to adopt this mode of locomotion, likely eliciting a mixture of curiosity and perhaps even amusement from its primate contemporaries. However, the true showstoppers arrived around 4 million years ago, the Australopithecus. These were among the earliest members of the Hominina subtribe, our tribe. What set them apart? Perhaps it was their introduction of sophisticated tools into the equation. Stone tools, to be precise. It appears that at some juncture in their evolutionary history, these intelligent primates began employing stones to simplify their lives. Now, prepare for a pivotal turning point in our narrative. Roughly 2 million years ago, our ancestors confronted a dire food shortage. Survival of the fittest became the governing principle, and two distinct strategies emerged. The first group opted for stronger jaws, enabling them to consume tough, resistant foods like nuts and seeds. The second group pursued an alternative path. They favored weaker jaws, but larger brains. This adaptation allowed them to access a more diverse array of food sources. Unsurprisingly, the bigger brain group ultimately prevailed. And here is where our own lineage enters the picture. Around 2.5 million years ago, a primate species known as Homo habilis, or handyman, left its mark on history. These ingenious beings possessed larger brains and knew how to put those neurons to effective use. Approximately 1.9 million years ago, a new star ascended, Homo erectus. These creatures not only walked upright, but also possessed brains that were nearly twice the size of those of Homo habilis. They took the world by storm, becoming the first of our direct ancestors to venture beyond the confines of the African continent. Imagine a world hundreds of thousands of years ago. Our ancestors, not quite the us we know today, were already showing sparks of ingenuity. Around 700,000 years in the past, a revolution began in the culinary arts. We find the earliest indications of cooking, a monumental shift in how early humans interacted with their world. Then, about 500,000 years ago, a new development appeared: clothing. Our forebears sought functionality and perhaps even a touch of style. But fast forward to around 300,000 years ago, and Homo sapiens, our own species, finally enters the scene. Late to the party? Perhaps. But our arrival would forever alter the course of this planet. Alongside other hominid relatives, we emerged, ready to use our innovative minds and build complex societies. The exact trajectory of our evolution remains shrouded in some mystery, but we know that Neanderthals, Homo neanderthalensis, joined the fray at some point as well. As Homo sapiens flourished, so did our capacity for language. Modern speech, it's believed, arose nearly simultaneously with our species. We began to express ourselves, weaving stories and shaping the world with our words. So, consider this. It took 13.8 billion years of cosmic history for humans to finally arrive. A truly staggering amount of time. For 99.99998% of the period since the Big Bang, we were nowhere to be found. Our species, Homo sapiens, is but a toddler in the Earth's vast family, existing for only the tiniest sliver of the universe's timeline. Yet, in this blink of an eye, we've managed to piece together the incredible story that led to our very existence. But the story doesn't conclude with us. It's an ongoing saga, being written with each passing moment. The countless mysteries surrounding ancient civilizations have ignited the imaginations of conspiracy theorists across the globe. Some of these enigmas are so compelling that many of us are already believers, or perhaps wish we were. One thing remains certain. None of these countless conspiracy theories have ever been officially classified. Or have they? We all know that the CIA has engaged in questionable activities for the sake of national security. But would you expect a book to be considered a national and international threat? Recently, the CIA declassified portions of a book discussing lost ancient civilizations and the catastrophic events that led to their disappearance thousands of years ago. This enigmatic book, written in 1963 by a man named Chan Thomas, was slated for publication by Emerson House in 1965 until the CIA intervened. For reasons that remain unclear, they classified the book, preventing its release to the public until recently. But here's where the plot thickens. The book was declassified in 2013 due to the Freedom of Information Act, but wasn't actually released to the public until 2016. And the released version raises some serious questions. The original document was reportedly 284 pages long. However, the PDF released to the public was heavily censored, containing only 57 pages, a mere fraction of the complete work. The pages were edited so skillfully that the missing sections are nearly imperceptible. Why was this book classified in the first place? No one truly knows, but the content is undeniably intriguing. The author possessed a vivid imagination and a deep fascination with ancient civilizations. While his ideas are thought-provoking, some are undeniably bizarre. He posits that our planet is trapped in an endless cycle of pole shifts and Earth crust displacements, which are responsible for the mass extinctions of civilizations predating even the Sumerians, civilizations that existed more than 6,000 years ago. He believed these events inflicted more damage on the Earth than even meteor impacts. His theory rests on several artifacts scattered around the globe, which have only recently garnered attention. These mass extinctions, as described in the book, include the end of the Ice Age, when colossal 2-mile-thick ice sheets vanished from northern Europe, North America, and Canada, resulting in the extinction of approximately 100 species. The author illustrates his hypothesis by suggesting that a geomagnetic pole shift triggered catastrophic changes in both the atmosphere and the Earth's crust, leading to the demise of numerous civilizations over time. Now, while geomagnetic pole shifts are a real phenomenon, they don't happen overnight. Scientists estimate they occur very gradually, roughly every few 100,000 years. But it's more complex than it sounds. It's a well-established fact that the North Pole is located somewhere above Alaska and the South Pole. Imagine, if you will, a journey to the heart of Antarctica, not as it is today, but as it was hundreds of thousands of years ago. We know the geographic poles, the true north and south, remain constant. However, the Earth's magnetic field is a far more fickle thing. These magnetic poles, the ones that dictate the direction of a compass needle, have flipped many times throughout history. Now, picture this. 700,000 years in the past, your compass wouldn't point to the Arctic, but instead would swing south, indicating the frozen continent of Antarctica as north. But what if these magnetic shifts weren't gradual, occurring over vast stretches of time? What if, instead, they were sudden, cataclysmic events? One intriguing theory suggests that these flips don't happen over hundreds of thousands of years, but rather every 12,000 years, and with terrifying speed, perhaps in mere hours. Imagine the chaos, the unimaginable forces unleashed by such a rapid shift. The theory posits that these events are triggered by explosions deep within the Earth's core, causing not only the magnetic poles to reverse, but also the very crust of our planet to shift and buckle. According to this dramatic vision, continents once submerged beneath the waves could rise in a matter of hours, thrusting themselves skyward in a violent upheaval. Consider the Andes Mountains in Peru, towering some 22,000 feet above sea level. Could they have once been hidden beneath the ocean's surface? Remarkably, there's evidence that lends credence to this seemingly outlandish claim. In the late 1980s, scientists unearthed whale bones and fossils, millions of years old, high in the Andes and even in the Himalayas. How did these marine relics find their way to such lofty heights? The theory goes even further, suggesting that the Younger Dryas, a period of intense cold that gripped the Earth, was triggered by such a pole shift, disrupting the Gulf Stream and plunging the world into a deep freeze. The evidence? Frozen mammoths discovered entombed in ice, with the food still lodged in their mouths. These weren't creatures unused to the cold. Mammoths were built for the Ice Age. What could have caused them to freeze so rapidly, so completely? It's a chilling thought. Now, let's turn our attention to another enduring mystery. The Great Pyramid of Giza. A colossal structure composed of some 2.5 million stone blocks, fitted together with incredible precision. It stands nearly 750 feet wide and over 450 feet high. Even today, we struggle to comprehend how it was built, how such massive stones were moved and placed with such accuracy. The internal design of the Great Pyramid is unlike any other. And contrary to popular belief, no mummies have ever been found within its chambers. Perhaps even more strangely, there are no hieroglyphs to be found anywhere inside, and the mystery deepens. There are no pyramids, or even representations of pyramids, in any Egyptian hieroglyphs. It's as if the Egyptians inherited these structures from a forgotten past. Some believe that the pyramids were built hundreds of thousands of years before the rise of the Egyptian civilization, by a race that has long since vanished. And speaking of lost civilizations, what about the Greeks? Legend speaks of an ancient people who predated them, a race of giants with blue eyes and blonde hair, possessing advanced technology far beyond anything the Greeks could have imagined in their prime. But let's return to those massive stone blocks, and another enigma, the temple in Baalbek, Lebanon, and its colossal foundation stones. These stones, some of which were also used in temples in Rome, are truly staggering. The foundations are composed of trilithon stones, each weighing an estimated 900 tons. Could this be evidence of a lost, ancient civilization with technology that dwarfs our own? Mainstream archaeologists often attribute these stones to the Romans, but the evidence is far from conclusive. Did the Romans truly possess the means to quarry, transport, and lift such massive stones? These stones were not only massive, but they were also lifted some 30 feet in the air and placed with mathematical precision. And let's not forget the blocks that sit atop the Temple of Jupiter in Baalbek, each weighing a staggering 800 tons. Even more perplexing, the Romans themselves never claimed credit for these colossal foundation stones, only for the structures built upon them. Consider the distance between Rome and Baalbek. Why would the Romans transport the world's largest monolithic stones to such a remote location, so far from their capital, and then not even claim responsibility for their creation? It remains an open question, a puzzle that continues to confound historians and archaeologists alike. It seems we are left with a mystery that may never be fully resolved. Now let's move on to an even more intriguing enigma, one that may hold the key to understanding these ancient mysteries. Imagine for a moment a speck of land lost in the vastness of the Pacific Ocean, Easter Island. A place so remote, it feels like the edge of the world. How did ancient people even discover this isolated paradise, let alone establish a thriving civilization? The island's iconic Moai statues stand as silent sentinels, their origins and purpose shrouded in mystery. But perhaps the biggest puzzle of all is how these colossal figures were carved, transported, and erected in their current locations. Now, let's delve into a declassified document that proposes a startling explanation. According to this source, Easter Island is merely a remnant of a long-lost continent called Mu, swallowed by the Pacific in a catastrophic pole shift. This continent, the document claims, was once as large as South America, with Easter Island marking its final surviving peak. The author even draws parallels to the legend of Atlantis, citing Plato's account of a great city vanishing beneath the waves in a single day. While this narrative certainly ignites the imagination, modern science offers a more grounded perspective. The idea of a sudden, cataclysmic pole shift obliterating entire civilizations simply doesn't align with our understanding of Earth's geological processes. But the resilience of humanity is a force to be reckoned with. Consider the incredible true story of 33 miners trapped deep beneath the Chilean desert in 2010. A human can survive weeks without food, days without water, but could they survive being buried alive? August 5th, 2010, began like any other workday at the San Jose mine. Miners toiled in the depths, extracting copper, gold, and other precious minerals. Some were laboring nearly 2,500 feet below the surface, while others rested in the refuge, a chamber carved into the rock, designed for miners to relax and breathe fresh air pumped from above. They awaited the truck that would carry them to the surface for lunch. Then, at approximately 2 p.m., the earth convulsed. A deafening explosion echoed through the mine. The ground bucked and swayed. Dust billowed, obscuring everything, and a major passageway collapsed, sealing the miners within the mountain's embrace. As the tremors subsided, the miners in the refuge rallied. Led by their shift manager, they resolved to reach the surface and rescue their comrades. Simultaneously, deep within the mine, 2 miners were loading ore into a truck when they were rocked by a sudden surge of pressure. Initially dismissing it, they soon realized the gravity of the situation as the dust grew so thick they could barely see. Driving virtually blind, they narrowly avoided colliding with their supervisor, who urgently signaled them to halt. The truck, now laden with terrified men, began its perilous ascent toward the surface. The vehicle strained under its heavy load, but pressed onward. They encountered more workers, who scrambled aboard, packing themselves in like sardines. Slowly, painstakingly, they navigated the treacherous tunnels until they reached a colossal rock slide, estimated to weigh 700,000 tons, and rise to the height of a 45-story building. They dispatched the smallest miner to scout for a possible passage. He crawled forward for a mere 10 feet, his lamp cutting through the gloom before reporting back. There was no way through. Some of the veteran miners had experienced minor collapses before, easily cleared by a bulldozer in a matter of hours. But this was different. Undeterred, they split into groups. One team sought out the ventilation shafts, conduits for air, water, and electricity, which were supposed to be equipped with emergency ladders. They found one such shaft, and a miner began to climb, his lungs burning with dust, his hands slipping on the slick walls. The chimney led him to the same impenetrable wall of rock. The grim truth was undeniable. They were trapped. The devastating news was relayed to the other miners, who had retreated to the refuge. The chamber contained enough rations to sustain 33 men for several days. They grabbed what they could, still clinging to the hope of a swift rescue. Canned peaches, peas, and tuna, 6 gallons of condensed milk, and 93 packages of cookies comprised their meager stockpile. Water, fortunately, was plentiful in nearby tanks used to cool the engines. However, all connections to the outside world had been severed. Electricity, the intercom system, the flow of water, and compressed air, all were gone. Above ground, the crews had witnessed the explosions and the plume of dust erupting from the mine entrance. As the trapped miners braced themselves for their first night in the refuge, the local emergency response team mobilized, determined to bring them home. A rescue team went down. Imagine a scene of desperation and ingenuity unfolding deep beneath the earth. A group of miners, trapped after a catastrophic collapse, find themselves entombed in the suffocating darkness. Initially, the rescue teams above ground are hampered. Their pickup truck grinds to a halt, unable to navigate the treacherous terrain leading to the mine entrance. They are forced to continue on foot until they encounter a solid wall of gray rock at around 2,500 feet. Another team attempts a daring descent, using ropes and pulleys to plumb the depths of the mine's chimneys. But each level presents new and insurmountable obstructions. In a gesture of solidarity, the team supervisor removes his distinctive white helmet, signaling to the workers that they are all equal in this moment of crisis. It's a gesture that will later be remembered as profoundly inspiring. Days turn into nights. On August 7th, disaster strikes again. Another collapse seals off the ventilation shafts, cutting off the miners' already tenuous lifeline to the surface. The next day, rescuers begin a desperate attempt to drill boreholes, sending down listening probes in the hope of detecting any sign of life. But the silence from below is deafening. Complicating matters further, the maps of the mine are hopelessly outdated, turning the search into a frustrating maze. Far below, in the cold, oppressive darkness, the miners struggle to maintain their morale. They talk, they joke, they share stories of their lives above ground, clinging to the hope of rescue. Their phones are useless, devoid of any signal, but they use them as cameras, recording video logs of their ordeal, documenting their struggle for survival. Their metabolisms begin to slow, and even the most energetic among them succumb to exhaustion, sleeping longer and longer, haunted by terrifying nightmares. A thick haze of despair begins to creep into their thoughts. 17 agonizing days pass without any contact with the outside world. Their meager rations dwindle, forcing them to eat only once every other day. Health problems begin to surface among the trapped men. Then, on August 22nd, a glimmer of hope. One of the 30 or so probes sent into the mine detects a faint tapping. A message is painstakingly relayed back to the surface. All 33 of us are all right in the shelter. Relief washes over the rescue teams. Soon they manage to deliver food, water, letters from loved ones, first aid supplies, and other essential provisions through the narrow borehole. High-tech video cameras are lowered, beaming back live footage of the men in their cramped, steamy refuge, a scene that captivates the world. The miners, showing incredible resilience, have established a system of jobs and routines to help them survive in those brutal conditions and maintain their sanity. Above ground, an international team of engineering and mining experts races against time, pooling their knowledge to devise a plan to bring the trapped miners back to the surface. Their solution: to drill an escape tunnel wide enough to accommodate a specially designed capsule capable of carrying one person at a time. A powerful crane would then winch the capsule back to safety. 3 separate drilling rigs are brought to the site, and work commences on August 30th, 25 days after the initial accident. The trapped workers, displaying incredible courage and determination, actively participate in their own rescue. They form 3 teams, working 8-hour shifts to clear the debris caused by the drilling, reinforcing the mine's walls to prevent further collapses. The original plan estimated a December completion date, but the Plan B drill breaks through to the miners on October 9th, a testament to the tireless efforts of everyone involved. It takes 2 more days to line the tunnel with protective metal tubing. Finally, a rescue worker is lowered into the mine inside the capsule, a moment of profound significance. Above ground, families and friends of the miners gather at a makeshift Camp Hope, their faces etched with anxiety and anticipation. Then, the moment the world has been waiting for. The first miner emerges from the depths, completing a 15-minute journey through 2,500 feet of solid rock inside the claustrophobic capsule. He is greeted as a hero, a symbol of hope and resilience. One by one, the remaining miners are pulled to safety, each escape a victory against impossible odds. Millions of people around the globe watch the unfolding drama on live television, captivated by the courage and determination of the trapped men and their rescuers. The operation takes less than a day, far exceeding the initial estimate of 48 hours. All 33 miners, ranging in age from 19 to 63, are rescued, most in surprisingly good health, a testament to their resilience and the ingenuity of their survival strategies. They are given dark glasses to protect their eyes after being subjected to near-total darkness for so long. Among the last to emerge is Franklin Lobos, a former professional soccer player. While trapped underground, he receives signed jerseys from teams around the world, a symbolic gesture of support and admiration. Franklin is presented with this incredible gift, along with a soccer ball, upon his rescue. He declares that his ordeal had been the toughest match of his entire life. The incredible 33 are showered with love and praise, their story resonating around the world. They are guaranteed 6 months of top-tier healthcare, a small token of gratitude for their extraordinary ordeal. They travel to international destinations, sharing their story as motivational speakers, making public appearances, and exploring famous landmarks. They are even honored with a parade at Walt Disney World in Florida, a celebration of their remarkable triumph over adversity. In 2015, their story is immortalized in a movie titled The 33, starring Antonio Banderas. Banderas portrays the miner who filmed daily video logs, reassuring the world that they were all alive and well. This story, considered by many to be a genuine miracle, is etched into history and enshrined in the Guinness Book of World Records as the longest time survived trapped underground. Now, let us shift our focus to a seemingly unrelated event, one that will have a profound impact on our understanding of ocean currents and the interconnectedness of our planet. On January 10, 1992, a massive cargo ship is sailing across the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean. Suddenly, it is caught in a violent storm. Towering waves batter the ship mercilessly, and several of its shipping containers are torn loose and plunged into the turbulent waters. One of these containers bursts open, releasing its cargo, approximately 29,000 plastic bath toys. Among them are yellow ducks, green frogs, and blue turtles. From that moment forward, these colorful toys embark on an unexpected journey of almost 20,000 miles across the world's oceans. Imagine a vast expanse of ocean where an extraordinary saga began. Over countless years, a multitude of plastic toys, including rubber ducks, faced the relentless power of storms, the corrosive bite of salt water, curious encounters with marine life, and the unyielding heat of the sun. These resilient toys even braved the frigid waters of the Arctic, navigating the very spot where the Titanic met its tragic end. Some of these intrepid travelers found their way to the sun-kissed shores of Hawaii, while others landed on the coast of England. The world watched their incredible journey unfold, captivated by their endurance. Oceanographers, intrigued by their travels, meticulously studied ocean currents with the aid of this buoyant, migrating flock of rubber duckies. Books were written, chronicling the adventures of these plastic voyagers. Each toy became a unique artifact, a testament to its incredible journey. Remarkably, many people managed to find at least one of these oceanic wanderers. One frog, a survivor of the high seas, washed ashore on the coast of England, while other toys were discovered scattered across the vast ocean. Collectors and enthusiasts eagerly sought them out, some fetching prices of thousands of dollars. Even now, these wanderers continue their journey, bobbing and weaving across the oceans, waiting to be discovered. Did you ever come across the term ammonite? Picture a large, ancient seashell adorned with a spiral on its back. The coast of Washington is a treasure trove of fossils from these creatures. A team of paleontologists ventured to this coast, hoping to unearth these prehistoric relics. Instead, they stumbled upon a massive bone belonging to a dinosaur unknown to them. The challenge: the fossil was firmly embedded within a coastal rock. Undeterred, the paleontologists brought in a stone saw, carefully extracting the precious find. Analysis revealed that the bone belonged to an animal that roamed the Earth approximately 80 million years ago. It was identified as a theropod, a fearsome predatory dinosaur that stalked its prey on two legs. Tyrannosaurus rex, and Velociraptor, Velociraptor mongoliensis, are among the most famous members of this group. While the exact species of the bone remains unconfirmed, researchers suggest that modern birds are descended from these very dinosaurs. In 2008, the shores of Brighton Beach presented a truly bizarre sight: an enormous 8-foot-tall Lego man. Remarkably intact, he looked as if he'd just stepped out of a toy store. The length of his ocean voyage and his ultimate destination remained a mystery. This unusual discovery captured the imagination of locals and the attention of the district administration. The Lego man, a whimsical giant on the beach, was deemed too captivating to remove, and City Hall decided to let him remain. The true story of this colossal toy remains shrouded in speculation. Some believe he originated from Denmark, home to the Legoland theme park. Perhaps he escaped directly from the park itself. Others speculate that he fell overboard from a passing ship, joining the ranks of the rubber duckies lost at sea. Of course, the possibility of a clever PR stunt remains. Regardless of its origin, the Lego man served as a memorable advertisement. Fast forward to 2010, when a colossal tree washed ashore on the beach of La Push, Washington. Its trunk was so vast that several people could comfortably fit inside. Imagine furnishing it with a bed, a table, a TV, even hosting a small gathering. The tree itself stood approximately 200 feet tall, nearly the length of a Boeing passenger jet. While numerous discarded trees littered the shore that day, this giant reigned supreme. High tides and powerful winds were the culprits, pushing the behemoth onto the sand. Storms are frequent occurrences in this region. During these events, rivers overflow, sweeping through forests and carrying large trees downstream. The presence of steep slopes covered in tropical forests near the beach further exacerbates the situation. At high tide, the water erodes the land, dislodging trees and carrying them out to sea, eventually depositing them on the shore. The exact species of the tree remained uncertain, but it resembled a Sitka spruce, red cedar, or Douglas fir. In 2020, a giant squid, Archaeological ducks, was discovered on a South African beach. Such finds are rare, as these colossal creatures typically dwell in the deep, dark depths of the ocean. This particular specimen measured almost 14 feet long, longer than many passenger cars. Some giant squids can reach bus-sized proportions. It's no wonder that sailors of old referred to these monsters as krakens. They possess enormous tentacles, beak-like mouths, and the largest eyes in the animal kingdom, with some eyes reaching the size of a football. In 2021, a family stumbled upon an old sealed bottle on a Hawaiian beach. Inside, they found a message penned 37 years prior. The letter, written in English, revealed that it was part of a project undertaken by students at a local school. Back in 1984, the school released approximately 450 bottles into the ocean to study ocean currents. The letter included an address, requesting its return. To date, about 50 bottles have been returned to the school in Japan. However, this message, discovered on the shores of Hawaii, marked the first recovery since 2002. Picture this. You're strolling along a beach, and your gaze falls upon something peculiar in the distance. It resembles a giant starfish, adorned with large, dark green tentacles. The center of this strange star emits an eerie red glow. The object is cordoned off with tape, and figures in protective suits mill about. This scene unfolded in May 2022. Imagine traveling back in time to the 14th century in Europe, a time when the first geared clocks were beginning to appear. But how could such a sophisticated device emerge so early, a full 400 years before its supposed time. Could the tragic sinking of the Antikythera and the loss of its intricate mechanism have significantly delayed technological progress by centuries? Now, let's shift our gaze to the Caucasus Mountains, nestled near the Black Sea. This region stands as one of the few areas in Europe relatively untouched by human development, despite the fact that the term Caucasian is often used to describe most white-skinned people globally. Yet, even here, archaeologists have unearthed numerous ancient megalithic structures. These house-like formations, known as dolmens, have yielded fascinating finds: jewelry, bronze tools, and various pottery shards. The mystery deepens as archaeologists remain unsure about who constructed these dolmens, what their purpose was, or why they were built in the first place. Picture these structures. Some consist of two upright stones supporting a massive capstone roof, while others are built from smaller stones stacked to form walls, with a single intriguing hole on one side. Even more puzzling are the stone plugs discovered, seemingly designed to seal the contents within. The enigma surrounding these stone formations intensifies when we realize they are not confined to the Caucasus. They appear across the globe: Australia, South Korea, Colombia, Africa, and even France. Their true function remains elusive, leaving scientists to speculate. Let's journey to 1974, to the well-documented discovery of the tomb of China's first emperor. Who can forget the breathtaking sight of the 8,000 terracotta warriors, each with unique facial expressions, standing guard at the entrance? And beyond the warriors, full-sized terracotta horses and chariots stand ready, offering additional protection. However, what remains less known is that some sections of this vast tomb complex have never been entered. Archaeologists hesitate, knowing the entire site is unstable. The potential for incredible discoveries exists, but no one wants to risk damaging or losing this irreplaceable piece of history. The plan is to eventually deploy tiny robots into the unopened tombs, hoping to gain a clearer picture of what lies within. Until then, the world must wait a little longer for these ancient secrets to be revealed. Now, let's travel to southern Costa Rica, where a collection of mysterious stone spheres has been found. Over 300 of these spheres are scattered across the landscape, some reaching almost 7 feet in diameter. Their purpose and method of creation remain unknown. One thing we do know is their composition. They are made from gabbro, a volcanic rock. Imagine the time and effort required to carve these stones to such perfectly spherical shapes. Researchers believe they were crafted by a now-extinct group using rudimentary tools. The prevailing theory suggests they used smaller stones to chip away at the edges of boulders, followed by sand to smooth the surfaces. Some believe these spheres held astronomical significance or served as markers pointing towards something important, but their true meaning has been lost with the civilization that created them. Our next stop takes us off the southern tip of Japan, about 75 miles from Taiwan, to the Yonaguni Formation. In 1986, a local diver, searching for new dive sites, stumbled upon these formations. The sight of large step-like structures resembling a pyramid led him to believe he had discovered an underwater city. Some archaeologists suggest that these structures could be evidence of a fabled Pacific civilization, an Atlantis of the East, that vanished beneath the waves millennia ago. Reports even mention markings on the stone, suggesting quarry work. Some claim to have seen faded images of humans and animals carved into the stone. However, solid evidence remains scarce. Most experts maintain that the formation is natural and that the symmetry of the rocks has been exaggerated. The lines aren't as straight as some claim, and the structure appears to be solid, natural rock rather than carefully carved blocks. The resemblance to a sunken city, they argue, is simply a coincidence. Let's move on to Turkey, where archaeologists believe they may have uncovered the oldest known architecture in the world, dating back over 10,000 years. Located in an area once populated by ancient farming communities, these monoliths, reaching up to 18 feet tall, were likely used for social gatherings and rituals. These large stone structures appear to be vaguely human-shaped, adorned with carvings of animals. Nearby, researchers have found evidence of domestic housing, suggesting that these impressive monuments may have marked the beginning of the transition towards modern civilization. Finally, Consider the Quimbaya artifacts, some of the most intriguing objects ever discovered. What makes them so fascinating is their striking resemblance to modern airplanes. Their aerodynamic design is so advanced that some modern scientists believe they could even be used as blueprints for functional aircraft. In 1994, two aeronautical imagined Bondi Beach in Australia, teeming with life. But on one particular day, the usual surfers and sunbathers were joined by journalists and curious tourists, all drawn to the shore by rumors of an incredible discovery. What awaited them was not a prehistoric monster, but an elaborate sculpture, a clever advertising stunt for a popular American television series. Now, let's journey back 180 million years to Charmouth Beach in England. Here, a far more authentic marvel was unearthed. One of the most ancient fossils ever discovered. This wasn't just a stray bone. It was nearly the complete skeleton of a colossal underwater lizard, an ichthyosaurus. Let's call him Icky for short. Icky was a true giant, measuring a staggering 40 feet in length. That's about the size of a small bus cruising through the prehistoric seas. His head alone was a formidable 7 feet long, taller than many modern-day basketball players. Imagine this massive predator gliding through the ancient oceans, a terrifying presence to all marine life. But the mysteries of the deep aren't confined to the distant past. Fast forward to February 16th, 2020. Locals in a quiet Irish village awoke to find a large cargo ship stranded on the rocky coastline. The vessel was ancient, riddled with rust, and sporting gaping holes, a ghost ship seemingly out of nowhere. The day before, the shore was empty. The ship held no treasures, just old barrels of fuel. There were no logs, no records, no sign of a crew or captain. Who did she belong to? The press picked up the story, and an anonymous caller claimed ownership, but provided no proof and quickly vanished. The ship, it turned out, was named Alta. 5 months prior to her arrival in Ireland, she was spotted thousands of miles away in the vast Atlantic Ocean. The crew of the MS Protector attempted to make contact, but received no response. She was a phantom ship, adrift and silent. How did she manage to traverse the Atlantic, navigating storms and currents, only to wash ashore in Ireland? More information surfaced. The Alta had a checkered past, changing hands and flags multiple times. She was rumored to be involved in smuggling operations, visiting ports in Africa and Greece. At one point, members of her crew sent out a distress signal, reporting dwindling supplies and engine trouble. They were rescued, but the ship was left to wander the ocean, her owner remaining a mystery. Picture this. You're stranded in a scorching desert, the sun beating down relentlessly. Your supplies are gone, and your throat is parched. You dream of rain, but the sky is empty. With each step, your strength fades. Just as you collapse, you spot a small pond in the distance. Is it a mirage or salvation? You crawl towards it, desperate for water. The water seems to be getting closer, but not because of your efforts. The pond is expanding, rushing towards you. In minutes, it transforms into a small lake, 60 feet deep, right in the heart of the desert. This incredible event actually happened in 2014 in the Tunisian desert. Shepherds stumbled upon the lake, astonished by the sight. Within hours, hundreds of locals flocked to the oasis, swimming and diving into the crystal-clear turquoise water. But the joy was short-lived. Within days, the lake's color shifted to a murky green. People dismissed it, continuing to swim, unaware of the danger. When scientists arrived, they issued a stark warning. The lake was becoming stagnant, no longer fed by fresh springs. The water was now teeming with algae and harmful bacteria, posing a serious health risk. Further investigation revealed that the area was rich in phosphate deposits. The disintegration of this substance could release radioactive elements, turning the lake into a toxic soup, carcinogenic and deadly. Despite the warnings, many locals, desperate for relief from the oppressive heat, continued to risk their health, drawn to the water's deceptive promise. Imagine a place where the laws of nature seem to bend, where the earth itself holds secrets and dangers. Let's journey to a location shrouded in mystery, where a lake appeared seemingly out of nowhere, defying all logical explanation. For a time, thrill seekers dove into its cool waters, heedless of the warnings issued by cautious scientists. Even now, the true origins of this enigmatic lake remain a puzzle. Some theorize that torrential rains were the architect of this anomaly. Picture a landscape of towering rocks, a canyon's embrace cradling a growing pool. The relentless storms, year after year, could have simply overwhelmed the natural basin, causing water to accumulate, creating a lake where none existed before. But there's another, more unsettling possibility. Geologists whisper of subterranean forces, of the earth groaning and shifting in the depths. A subtle seismic tremor, a mere shudder in the planet's crust, could have fractured the bedrock above the water table. Through this rupture, a torrent of water might have surged forth, flooding the landscape. And here's the chilling part. If this seismic theory holds true, the lake's existence is precarious. Like pulling the plug from a bathtub, any minor earthquake could reopen those subterranean cracks, causing the water to vanish as quickly as it appeared. So, if you ever find yourself in this remote location, resist the temptation to swim in this potentially radioactive and fleeting body of water. Now, let's set course for the Caribbean islands, a tropical paradise of azure seas and sun-kissed shores. Hidden among these idyllic landscapes lies a lake unlike any other. At first glance, it might even escape your notice, the surrounding terrain resembling a vast, concrete platform. But be warned, stepping onto its surface would be a grave mistake. This is Pitch Lake, a sprawling expanse not of water, but of liquid asphalt. It is the world's largest deposit of this viscous, black substance. See the steam rising from its surface, a testament to the intense heat simmering beneath. This lake plunges to depths of 250 feet. Imagine a Boeing 747 passenger jet standing upright within its dark abyss. While still shrouded in mystery, scientists believe that a deep geological fault lies beneath Pitch Lake, a wound in the Earth's crust. Through this fissure, vast quantities of crude oil seep to the surface. Over time, exposed to the elements and undergoing complex chemical reactions, the oil transforms into the thick, sticky asphalt that defines this bizarre landscape. Estimates suggest that some 10 million tons of this hot, bubbling material reside within Pitch Lake. One might assume that such an environment would be utterly devoid of life. Yet, astonishingly, scientists have discovered thriving colonies of microbes, life forms that have somehow adapted to endure these extreme conditions. This discovery sparks a profound question. If life can flourish in a lake of asphalt, what other possibilities might exist beyond our planet? Consider Titan, Saturn's largest moon, where hydrocarbon lakes dot the surface. If life can emerge amidst millions of tons of molten asphalt here on Earth, who's to say it couldn't do the same on Titan? Our next destination takes us to Indonesia, to the volcanic island of Java. Prepare for a challenging ascent, as we must scale the slopes of a towering volcano to witness our next spectacle. Lush vegetation clings to the mountainside, yet the volcano's restless nature is evident in the plumes of smoke that billow from its summit. Reaching the top, we are greeted not by a fiery caldera, but by a serene lake, its turquoise surface mirroring the sky above. But do not be deceived by its beauty. This is no ordinary lake. It is a pool of concentrated acid. The magma that fuels volcanoes originates from the Earth's deep interior. This incandescent liquid is a cocktail of molten metals and chemical compounds, and particles of these elements saturate the lake. Adding to this toxic brew, the volcano vents sulfur dioxide gases. When these gases react with the metals in the water, they create the lake's striking turquoise hue. But the true spectacle awaits those who dare to venture here at night. In certain areas, sulfur accumulates in concentrated deposits. When these deposits come into contact with the air, they ignite in bursts of ethereal blue flame. From a safe distance, the sight is mesmerizing, but approach with caution. Nearby, on the same island, another acidic lake releases sulfurous gases into the atmosphere. These gases, too, ignite upon contact with oxygen, erupting in flashes of brilliant blue. During daylight hours, the flames are difficult to discern, but as darkness descends, these electric blue bursts become visible from afar. Now, let's journey to Australia. Launching a drone high above a sprawling forest, we scan the emerald canopy until a vibrant splash of pink comes into view. This is our lake, and unlike some of its more treacherous counterparts, its rosy waters beckon for a swim and a photo opportunity. Thousands of tourists flock to this location, drawn by the lake's unusual color. Yet, it was only recently that scientists unraveled the mystery behind its hue. At the bottom of this saline lake near Melbourne, a unique species of algae thrives, secreting a red pigment. In combination with intense sunlight, high temperatures, and limited rainfall, this pigment turns the water a striking shade of pink. Interestingly, Australia isn't the only place where such a phenomenon occurs. Pink lakes can be found scattered across the globe, in locations as diverse as Senegal, Bolivia, and Kenya. These lakes share a common characteristic: high salinity and the presence of pigment-producing algae. Leaving the sun-drenched beaches behind, we now head to the frigid landscapes of Canada. Here, we encounter the frozen expanse of Lake Abraham. Stepping onto the icy surface, our attention is drawn to strange formations trapped within the ice. Thousands of frozen bubbles, resembling ghostly jellyfish suspended in time. Imagine a place where the air itself seems to crackle with cold. We're talking about methane, a gas so flammable it demands respect. Picture this: organic matter, fallen leaves, decaying trees, all the detritus of life, sinking into the depths of a frigid lake. This becomes a feast for countless bacteria, microscopic creatures that, in their consumption, release methane. Now, as the methane rises, it encounters the icy grip of frozen water. The result: tens of thousands of frozen methane bubbles, like ghostly pearls trapped beneath the surface. When the thaw arrives, these bubbles burst in a fizzing spectacle. A similar sight unfolds along certain Arctic shores, where these methane bubbles swell to sizes dwarfing even the largest balloons. It's a breathtaking display, no doubt, but one laced with danger. Methane, after all, is quick to ignite upon contact with air. Our journey now takes us to one of the coldest places on Earth, Antarctica, near its driest desert. And remember, a desert isn't necessarily a furnace. It's simply a region starved of precipitation, a place where life struggles to gain a foothold. Certain areas of Antarctica fit this description perfectly, yet even in this icy wasteland, a tiny anomaly exists. Before us lies a small lake, a mere puddle really, only inches deep. Technically, it's more of a pond. What's astonishing is that it remains liquid, defying temperatures that plummet to a bone-chilling 58 Torturwars. By all rights, it should be a solid block of ice. But it isn't. This is Don Juan Pond, one of the saltiest bodies of water on the planet. The sheer concentration of salt prevents the water from freezing, a phenomenon that has baffled scientists for over 6 decades. The precise reasons for its existence remain shrouded in mystery. Now, let's shift our focus to a structure steeped in legend: the Great Wall of China. Myths abound, whispers of its visibility from space, tales of lunar sightings, and grim stories of builders entombed within its walls. While these dramatic narratives are largely unfounded, they speak to the awe-inspiring nature of this incredible monument. Allow me to recount its true story. China, a nation of 1.4 billion people, stands as one of the most populous countries on Earth and one of the oldest, boasting 3,500 years of recorded history. Yet its civilization stretches back even further, into the mists of prehistory. Some theories suggest that, unlike Europe, which was populated by migrants from Africa, China's civilization arose from local Stone Age inhabitants, evolving in situ. The Great Wall of China is truly immense, even by modern standards, snaking across the landscape for over 13,000 miles. To put that into perspective, it's roughly 5 times the distance between New York and Los Angeles, or even slightly greater than the span from the North to the South Pole. Even today, humanity has never created anything quite on this scale. Of course, this colossal structure wasn't erected in a single day. Its construction spanned centuries. Ancient cities often had defensive walls, and Chinese cities were no exception. In 220 BCE, the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, unified the country, and conceived a brilliant, albeit ambitious plan to connect all the existing city walls into a single, colossal barrier, safeguarding the nation's northern border from invasion. A trusted general oversaw the project, enlisting a vast workforce of soldiers, commoners, and convicts. Initially, the wall was built from rammed earth and wood. At strategically vital points, sections of the wall overlapped, maximizing defensive capabilities. These early walls averaged around 26 feet in height. However, this nascent structure bore little resemblance to the Great Wall we know today. Each subsequent emperor embraced the project, reinforcing, extending, and repairing the wall, while also incorporating more modern construction techniques. Some sections were built with bricks, others with granite and marble blocks. Watchtowers and platforms, essential for communication and defense, were later additions under the Ming emperors. These towers allowed for rapid communication across the wall via smoke signals and fire. The Great Wall's varied construction materials only add to its charm, a testament to the immense time and effort poured into its creation. Some sections have endured for centuries, thanks to an unlikely ingredient, glutinous rice flour. This sticky rice mortar, it turns out, is remarkably similar to cement. Incredibly strong and waterproof, it binds the bricks together so tightly that even the most persistent weeds struggle to take root. Let's journey back in time to witness the construction and secrets of the Great Wall of China. Observe closely, and you might notice carved writings etched into some of the bricks. These aren't random scribbles. They're quality assurance marks left by the workers who built this colossal structure. These inscriptions detailed vital information: location, quantity of materials used, and the names of responsible officials. Imagine a problem arose, a section weakened or materials failed. These markings allowed authorities to pinpoint exactly who was accountable. Recently, a team of researchers delved into the official historical records of the Ming Dynasty, which ruled China from the 14th to the 17th centuries. Their investigation uncovered tantalizing mentions of secret doors hidden within the Great Wall itself. Intrigued, they embarked on a mission to locate these clandestine passages. Deploying a sophisticated flying robot, they systematically captured ultra-high-resolution photographs, meticulously documenting 90% of the wall constructed during the Ming Dynasty. The result? The discovery of over 220 hidden doors scattered along its immense length. Some of these hidden openings were remarkably narrow, barely wide enough for a single person to squeeze through. Others were surprisingly large, capable of accommodating 2 horses riding abreast. But why these doors? The Great Wall's primary function was, after all, defense, a barrier against invaders. Constructing doors that could potentially allow enemies access seemed counterintuitive, a fatal flaw in the wall's design. The truth, of course, is that these were secret passages, meticulously integrated into the landscape. Their external exits were expertly camouflaged with bricks, rendering them virtually indistinguishable from the surrounding wall. The Great Wall was more than just a defensive fortification. It was a dynamic structure, never entirely closed. It could be opened strategically, serving as a conduit for trade, commerce, and communication between those inside and outside its imposing barrier. And, naturally, it played a vital role in defense and espionage. Some of these secret doors facilitated trade with those beyond the wall. Smaller passages allowed spies to slip out undetected, gathering intelligence on potential enemies. These hidden gates also served as launch points for surprise attacks. Remember those camouflaged exits? To an approaching enemy, they were invisible, their location a complete mystery. Meanwhile, on the inside, Chinese soldiers could access the hidden gate, break through the camouflaged bricks from within, and unleash a sudden, unexpected assault. Despite its imposing presence, the Great Wall wasn't foolproof. Determined enemies could still attempt to climb over it or find ways to circumvent it. To counter this, vigilant guards constantly monitored the wall, ready to signal approaching threats. The wall provided crucial time to mobilize reinforcements, bolster defenses, or lure enemy forces into strategically disadvantageous positions. Construction ceased at the end of the 19th century. Technological advancements rendered the wall obsolete as a strategic military asset. Over the centuries, time and human activity have taken their toll. Today, it's estimated that only 8% of the Great Wall remains in good condition, the rest succumbing to damage and decay. Approximately one-third has vanished entirely, lost to natural erosion and human intervention. One might jest that it's now merely a pretty good wall. The earliest sections, built from rammed earth and wood, were particularly vulnerable to the ravages of time. Destructive farming practices transformed vast areas into desert, accelerating erosion. In the last century, countless bricks were pilfered from the wall, repurposed for building farms and houses. Even today, the wall is being slowly deconstructed, stone by stone, by tourists eager for souvenirs. Each individual stone seems insignificant, but multiplied by the millions of visitors who flock to the Great Wall annually, the impact is substantial. Since 1987, the Great Wall has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to its unparalleled importance to humanity. It stands as one of China's 56 World Heritage Sites, placing the nation second only to Italy, with 58 sites in the number of UNESCO-protected landmarks. And did you know that the Great Wall isn't just a tourist destination? It's also the venue for the Great Wall Marathon, an event established in 1999 and recognized as one of the most grueling marathons on Earth. Runners traverse the wall itself, navigating its countless steps and challenging terrain. Participants can choose from 3 distances: a full marathon, 26 miles, a half marathon, 13 miles, or a shorter, less demanding fun run of 5 miles. Tunnels, metro systems, underground complexes, and even secret passages leading to the mansions of the wealthy. Why construct tunnels that disappear into the earth? Perhaps for shelter, a place to vanish from sight. Across the globe, from bustling cities to quiet villages, a network of subterranean passages exists, hinting at hidden worlds beneath our feet. But let's dispel a common myth. These tunnels are not interconnected. The idea of a continuous underground route stretching from Scotland to Turkey, supposedly built 5 millennia ago, is simply fantastical. Imagine the sheer scale of such an undertaking, even with today's technology. These mysterious tunnels are known as Erdstall tunnels. Their origins are shrouded in the mists of the Middle Ages, though precise dating remains elusive. While Bavaria in Germany boasts the highest concentration of these structures, they are also found scattered across Great Britain and France. Erdstall tunnels are characterized by their narrow, oval-shaped passages, often punctuated by constrictions known as schluffs, or slip-outs. Despite much speculation, their true purpose remains an enigma. Some feature fireplaces and ventilation shafts, suggesting they may have served as shelters. Dating back potentially to the 12th century, Erdstall tunnels present a challenge to historians and archaeologists. They lack definitive archaeological markers and are absent from historical records. This absence of concrete evidence fuels numerous theories about their use. Some believe they were used for storage, although their narrowness makes this seem impractical. Another theory suggests they served as hiding places for farmers during raids. However, their single, often easily discovered entrance casts doubt on their effectiveness as defensive structures. For the adventurous, a few Erdstall tunnels, such as the one at Erdstall Ratgobel in Austria, are open to the public. But most remain hidden from view, their secrets locked within the earth. The tight confines of these tunnels make them difficult to study. Traditional surveying methods are often useless in such cramped spaces. To overcome this, researchers now employ handheld devices equipped with RGB cameras, gyroscopes, and high-resolution depth sensors, allowing them to create detailed 3D models of the tunnels. One intriguing hypothesis suggests that Erdstall tunnels may have been rudimentary dwellings, abandoned when their flaws became apparent. Others propose a spiritual purpose, while the most far-fetched theory links them to extraterrestrial civilizations. More practically, some experts believe they may have been used as granaries or as hiding places from looters. The truth remains elusive. Without definitive information on who built them and when, the possibilities seem endless. Could even a sloth have been involved? It sounds absurd, but consider this. In 2009, a farmer in southern Brazil was driving his tractor through a cornfield when the ground suddenly gave way beneath him. He had unwittingly broken through the roof of an underground tunnel. Upon investigation, researchers discovered a tunnel approximately 6.5 feet high and wide, stretching for 50 feet beneath the farmer's field. Deep claw marks etched into the walls revealed that this was no human construction. What the farmer had stumbled upon was a paleoburrow, a prehistoric tunnel dug by ancient megafauna such as giant ground sloths or giant armadillos over 10,000 years ago. Imagine a hamster, but scaled up to the size of an elephant, standing 13 feet tall and capable of walking on 2 legs. During the Pleistocene epoch, between 15 million and 10,000 years ago, various species of giant sloths and armadillos roamed the Americas, some of them excavating similar tunnels. Today, many of these paleoburrows are filled with sediment, but some remain clear, like the one discovered by the Brazilian farmer. This discovery ignited a wave of interest, leading to the identification of over 1,500 paleoburrows across southern Brazil, making it the region with the highest concentration of such sites in the world. The reason for this concentration remains a mystery. While paleoburrows have been found throughout South America, their absence in North America is puzzling. Imagine a world ruled by giants. Picture massive ground sloths, creatures of immense size, lumbering across an entire continent. These weren't your average tree-dwelling sloths. These were behemoths, and they left their mark on the very earth. Evidence of their existence remains, etched into the landscape in the form of colossal tunnels. The purpose of these subterranean pathways remains shrouded in mystery. Were they nurseries, safe havens for vulnerable young sloths? Perhaps they served as natural climate control systems, offering refuge from the elements. Or could they have been hibernation chambers, where these giants slumbered through long, cold winters? Whatever their function, these tunnels likely evolved over centuries, each generation of sloths and armadillos expanding the network, digging deeper into the earth. Now, let's journey to a different corner of the world, to the United Kingdom, to explore another type of underground structure, the fogu. Forget the Japanese delicacy, fugu, or a town in New Guinea. These fogus are something else entirely. Unlike the smooth, earthen tunnels of the giant sloths, fogus are dry stone structures. Imagine a cave, meticulously decorated from the inside with carefully placed stones. These aren't natural formations. They are crafted. So far, only around 15 of these mysterious structures have been discovered, mostly in Cornwall. Estimates place their construction around 2,400 years ago. Remarkably, these ancient structures remain in pristine condition. Think about it. Millennia ago, without modern machinery, people constructed these durable marvels. Yet today, the quality of modern construction often leaves much to be desired. But what were these fogus for? Perhaps they served spiritual purposes, places of ritual and contemplation. They could have been used as hiding places, offering refuge from invaders. Or maybe they were used for food storage, keeping provisions safe and secure. One intriguing theory suggests they were used to cultivate specific types of mold. England, notorious for its damp climate, poses challenges for food preservation. Ancient Britons may have used the fogus to encourage the growth of beneficial molds on foods like milk, butter, and cheese, aiding in their preservation. Of course, this remains speculation. The true purpose of the fogus remains an enigma. What sets fogus apart is that they were intentionally built, unlike naturally occurring caves or mines. Their construction involved digging deep trenches, lining them with stone slabs, covering them with capstones, and then backfilling the earth above. A significant investment of time and labor. Despite the effort required to create these underground spaces, cities around the world are often built atop intricate tunnel systems, each unique to its location. Paris, for example, is famous for its extensive underground quarries, long abandoned, but still posing a risk of collapse above. London boasts a vast network of tunnels, many built for military purposes. New York City is rife with rumors of secret tunnels, while Los Angeles has tunnels dating back to the Prohibition era, used for speakeasies. Even Florida has its share of subterranean secrets. In 2011, in Ybor City, flooding near a former post office revealed a section of an unknown structure. Initially overlooked, it wasn't until 7 years later that the significance of the find became apparent. This historic neighborhood, founded in the 1880s, was revealed to possess a hidden tunnel network. Discovered during renovation work, the exact purpose of these tunnels remains unknown. However, many believe they connected early gambling dens and the port of Tampa. Determining the full extent of the network has proven difficult. In 2018, a historic home in Seoul Heights revealed locked doors leading to tunnels dating back to the 1920s. One local resident even claimed to have traveled through a tunnel for 20 minutes. Rumors persist that some tunnels connect to the Hillsborough River and Ybor City. While research continues, new information remains elusive. Imagine waking up one morning and heading to your car, only to find that it's partially swallowed by the earth. Its rear end is sticking out of a massive hole. This is precisely what happened to a resident in Queens, New York, back in 2020, when a sinkhole opened up overnight and devoured his SUV. Such events are not uncommon in many parts of the world, but sometimes these sinkholes reveal hidden wonders. In East Asia, a recent discovery stunned the scientific community. Cave explorers stumbled upon a colossal sinkhole that concealed an ancient forest, a verdant world hidden beneath the surface. Located in Guangxi Province, near the border with Vietnam, in Leh County, this sinkhole and its hidden forest have quickly gained worldwide attention. Imagine a landscape riddled with secrets, a realm where the earth itself seems to swallow the sky. We're talking about sinkholes, colossal voids that punctuate the surface of our planet. And in China, a recent discovery has added another breathtaking chapter to this story. A team of explorers has stumbled upon the 30th such geological marvel in this particular region of the country, bringing the local total to an astonishing number. These colossal pits are scattered across an area roughly equivalent to 3 Gibraltars. Yet, remarkably, this cluster represents only a fraction, a mere tenth, of the total number of sinkholes that pockmark the entire nation. The Chinese have long recognized these geological features, bestowing upon them the evocative name Tiankeng, which translates to sky holes or even heavenly pits. The dimensions of this newest sinkhole are truly staggering. Stretching over 1,000 feet in length, its depth is equally impressive. To give you a sense of its scale, you could nestle the Great Pyramid of Giza within its confines, not just once, but 1.5 times. The sinkhole's total volume is so immense that it could contain the equivalent of 2,000 Olympic-sized swimming pools. The exploration team faced a considerable challenge just to reach the bottom, enduring a hike that stretched for hours. But their efforts were richly rewarded. They found themselves in a pristine, untouched underground forest, a hidden world bearing no trace of human activity. Scientists believe that the plant life in this subterranean realm dates back to the age of the dinosaurs. A truly ancient ecosystem thriving in isolation. The foliage was so dense that it reached the explorers' shoulders, and some of the trees soared to heights twice that of the iconic Hollywood sign. This discovery, while astonishing, wasn't entirely unexpected. Geologists have long been familiar with this type of landscape in this part of East Asia, a phenomenon known as karst topography. The term karst has Slavic origins, and since the late 19th century, geologists have used it to describe barren limestone regions characterized by a distinctive set of features: fissures in the ground, intricate cave systems, subterranean streams, and of course, sinkholes. Karst landscapes typically form in regions with abundant rainfall, where the water gradually dissolves soluble materials such as limestone or dolomite. This process creates a unique and often dramatic scenery that many describe as a raw, untamed beauty. But karst terrains aren't just visually stunning. They also serve a vital practical purpose. They act as natural reservoirs, ideal for storing water that humans can then access for drinking. Around the world, an estimated 700 million people rely on these karst aquifers as their primary source of water. Even in the United States, a significant portion, around 40%, of the groundwater used for drinking comes from these formations. Famous examples of karst regions include the springs of Florida and the Mammoth Cave system in Kentucky. Geologists estimate that approximately 1/5 of the land surface in the United States exhibits karst topography. However, this type of terrain isn't limited to North America. It can be found on other continents as well, including the Caribbean, Europe, Australia, and Asia. Due to variations in local climate and geology, karst landscapes can take on different appearances depending on their location. In the Spanish province of Malaga, for example, the landscape is dominated by barren rock, a characteristic shared by karst regions in Italy, Slovenia, and Montenegro. In contrast, the karst landscapes of East Asia are often lush and verdant, thanks to the region's humid tropical climate. Sinkholes and cave entrances are often concealed behind dense vegetation, creating a hidden world of natural wonders. The region's unique geological and ecological significance was recognized in 2007 when it was inscribed on UNESCO's World Heritage List. China, the world's second most populous country, is home to approximately two-thirds of the planet's naturally occurring sinkholes, or tiankeng. These formations begin to take shape when rainwater seeps into cracks in the limestone bedrock. Over time, as more and more material is dissolved and washed away, these fissures gradually widen. Eventually, the ground above the limestone becomes unstable, leading to a sudden and often dramatic collapse of the surface layer. This collapse can occur without any prior warning signs. Once a hole forms in the ground, water often begins to accumulate within it. Another way for a sinkhole to develop is through the collapse of the roof of an existing underground cave. These types of sinkholes often resemble funnels, with a wide opening at the top and a narrower base near the bottom of the pool. The most famous examples of these funnel-shaped sinkholes are the cenotes, which occur naturally on the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico. This region is home to over 2,000 cenotes, all of which are former caves whose roofs collapsed at some point in the past, leaving behind stunning pools of fresh water. The local people have used these cenotes as vital water sources for thousands of years. The ancient Mayans imbued them with mystical symbolism, viewing them as passageways to the other world. But in reality, they are simply another manifestation of karst terrain, sinkholes that form in regions with abundant rainfall and limestone bedrock beneath the surface soil. The depth of a sinkhole can vary dramatically. The smallest may be only a few feet deep, and when they fill with water, they can transform into picturesque ponds. Larger sinkholes, on the other hand, can give rise to entire lakes. One striking example is the Red Lake in Croatia, renowned for its sheer cliffs that rise nearly 800 feet above the water's surface. But perhaps the most awe-inspiring sinkhole of them all is Shaozhai Tiankeng, located near the Yangtze River. This colossal void remained largely unknown to the outside world until its discovery in 1994. Its depth is so immense that you could stack 7 statues of liberty inside it, one on top of the other. During the rainy season, a spectacular waterfall cascades from the pit's mouth, plunging into a cave system at the bottom. However, not all sinkholes fill with water. This was the case with the newly discovered. Imagine traveling back in time, not to the age of dinosaurs, but to witness the formation of hidden worlds beneath our feet. In Asia, a colossal sinkhole yawned open, a geological event that birthed a unique and isolated ecosystem. Inside this chasm, high humidity and consistently cool temperatures fostered an environment where plant life exploded. The very bottom of this abyss connected to an unseen network of underground waterways, creating a self-contained world. Expeditions into this sinkhole revealed a treasure trove: 72 species of rare and vibrant wild plants. These botanical wonders, struggling to survive on the surface, found a sanctuary within the sinkhole's embrace, a place where they thrived in perfect harmony. This immense opening became, in essence, a wildlife refuge, a living ark for endangered species. This remarkable discovery was confirmed as recently as 2021, when biologists exploring the Yunnan province stumbled upon 2 species thought to have vanished from the face of the earth. The question now looms: what other botanical and animal secrets lie hidden in the depths of this subterranean world, waiting to be discovered? Venturing into these underground cave systems is an endeavor fraught with peril. These hidden realms are often the domain of venomous snakes, their scales shimmering in the dim light, and clouds of mosquitoes buzzing with relentless hunger. Even the descent into a sinkhole is a dangerous undertaking. Sheer cliffs rise on all sides, and the rocks are often razor-sharp, ready to punish any misstep. This treacherous landscape explains why the exploration of sinkholes in Asia proceeds with caution, at a pace slower than researchers would prefer. The sinkholes we've discussed so far are products of nature's slow hand, sculpted by millennia of erosion. But the ground can also give way due to the impact of human activity. From bustling construction sites to the insidious leak of a sewer pipe, our actions can destabilize the earth beneath our feet. Sinkholes in urban environments pose a significant threat to vital infrastructure. A stark example of this occurred in 2016 in the heart of Fukuoka, Japan. A busy downtown street, throbbing with the pulse of city life, collapsed near the main train station. The resulting sinkhole severed power lines, plunging the area into darkness, and ruptured underground pipes. Miraculously, no one was injured in the chaos. In a display of remarkable efficiency, Japanese engineers worked tirelessly, repairing the damaged road section in a mere 48 hours. The most unsettling aspect of sinkholes is their unpredictable nature. They can appear without warning, turning solid ground into a gaping abyss. The geologist's most valuable tool for detecting these hidden dangers is ground-penetrating radar, or GPR. This device, resembling a lawnmower, is carefully maneuvered across a suspect area, scanning the earth below. The radar emits pulses that detect subtle differences in the materials beneath the surface, revealing hidden cavities. This data is then translated into a 2D or 3D image, giving engineers a glimpse into the unseen world below. Once a potential sinkhole is identified, engineers employ various techniques to stabilize the ground and prevent a catastrophic collapse. The simplest method is known as grouting, which involves filling the void with a stabilizing substance. Polyurethane foam and cement are the most commonly used materials, solidifying the earth and preventing further erosion. The alternative approach, called underpinning, involves lifting a structure above the danger zone. Workers drive steel rods deep into the earth, anchoring them in load-bearing layers of soil. This is the same method used to build stilt houses, structures that stand defiant against the rising tides. Now let's shift our perspective. Imagine a real estate advertisement, not for a modern home, but for a dwelling fit for a Neanderthal some 100,000 years ago. A comfortable abode with a gorgeous view. But of course, back then, the concepts of real estate and advertising were still far in the future. Never mind the fact that Neanderthals didn't build houses, often choosing instead to inhabit caves. Yet, one particular cave bears a striking resemblance to a residential complex. Located within the towering limestone formation known as the Rock of Gibraltar, the caves within this rock would have commanded a high price had there been a Neanderthal economy. These caves were first discovered by navigators in 1907, who spotted a large opening within the fortified rock. For decades, scientists have meticulously studied this site, unearthing traces of Neanderthal life. They discovered ancient tools crafted from stone and bone, and the fossilized remains of long-vanished animals. But the most intriguing discovery was the existence of 4 distinct caves within the rock, forming a sort of residential complex. Here, Neanderthals lived side by side, neighbors helping each other hunt and fish. They adorned themselves with feather decorations and painted abstract designs on the cave walls. Picture our ancient ancestors, gathered in these caves 100,000 years ago, sharing stories and forging bonds. Today, scientists meticulously study this site, piecing together the primeval past of the Neanderthals. As recently as the end of 2021, archaeologists uncovered a narrow gap within one of the caves, leading to a previously unknown tunnel. Crawling through this tight passage, they discovered a new space hidden beneath the cave roof. This chamber had been sealed off from the outside world for over 40,000 years. It appeared to have been one of the most desirable apartments in the entire mountain complex. High ceilings soared above, adorned with ancient stalactites like frozen waterfalls of stone. Ruined stone formations divided the space into several distinct rooms. Scientists also found the remains of ancient animals and mysterious scratches etched into the walls. While it seems Neanderthals didn't live permanently in this particular chamber, they clearly visited it, drawn to its unique beauty and sheltered location. Archaeologists even discovered the shell of imagine, if you will, a journey back in time, to a place where even the very rocks whisper tales of ancient lives. Our first stop? A seemingly unremarkable cave, once home to a sea snail, affectionately nicknamed Dogwell. It seems a Neanderthal, driven by reasons lost to time, carried this tiny shell into the depths of the earth. But the true masters of this domain? Hyenas. Their presence paints a vivid picture of a prehistoric ecosystem. These caves hold more than just bones and shells. They offer a tantalizing glimpse into the lives of Neanderthals, revealing a species far closer to us than to any ape. They possessed a culture, a way of life, perhaps even customs we can only begin to fathom. The work here is far from over. Scientists continue to probe the depths, hoping to unlock further secrets hidden within the stone. Now, let's leap forward to 2003, to the lush, green jungles of Flores Island in Indonesia. Here, archaeologists stumbled upon another relic of the ancient world, a cave littered with primitive tools. Initially, excitement bubbled. Had they found the home of early humans? But the discovery of an unusual skeleton shattered all expectations. This was no ordinary human ancestor. Imagine a woman, a mere 3.5 feet tall, barely reaching the waist of a modern adult. Weighing no more than a common sheepdog, her remains defied categorization. She was neither Neanderthal nor Australopithecus. This was something entirely new. Homo floresiensis, or, as they became universally known, the Hobbit. The cave held further surprises. Alongside the Hobbit's remains were the bones of bizarre, long-extinct creatures. An elephant, but one no larger than a cow. Giant storks stalking the prehistoric landscape. And rats, monstrous in size, reaching dimensions comparable to a modern house cat. It seems the hobbits were not the unchallenged rulers of this domain. Perhaps they even fought for dominance against these oversized rodents. Analysis suggests that a Homo floresiensis wasn't a direct ancestor of modern humans. They represented a separate evolutionary branch, a unique experiment of nature. In fact, the Hobbit skeleton shares more physical similarities with ancient apes than with Homo sapiens. Our journey continues, now to the year 2009, deep within the tangled jungles of Vietnam. Here lies Son Doong, the largest cave on Earth. Picture this. If you were to shout within its cavernous depths, the echo would reverberate for what seems like an eternity. In certain sections, the cave soars to heights rivaling half the Empire State Building. Its total area dwarfs an entire city block in New York. Son Doong is just one piece of a vast network of caves riddling the Vietnamese jungle. A complex labyrinth harboring unique flora and fauna isolated from the world above. It's a true underground jungle. Sunlight pierces through collapsed ceilings, illuminating ancient stalactites hanging like frozen waterfalls. Some of these limestone formations predate the dinosaurs, having formed over 450 million years ago. Rivers carve their way through the cave's interior, fed by rainwater cascading from openings in the ceiling. These fast-flowing streams resemble natural water slides, disappearing into unexplored underground mazes. Scientists have only scratched the surface of this subterranean world. Next, we find ourselves in New Zealand, home to a different kind of spectacle. Here, hundreds of thousands of glowworms illuminate a cave with their ethereal blue light. It's like stepping onto another planet. But this fragile ecosystem demands respect. Air quality monitors are ubiquitous, constantly measuring carbon dioxide levels, essential for the survival of the glowworms. These delicate creatures are incredibly sensitive to environmental changes. Too many visitors, or prolonged stays, can deplete the oxygen, forcing park rangers to limit access. It's as if you're stealing the very breath from these tiny lights. We've explored some truly awe-inspiring caves, but now, prepare yourself for something a little more unsettling. We journey to the desert of Yemen's Al-Mahra province. Our destination is not a cave in the traditional sense, but a black abyss, a gaping hole in the earth, right in the heart of the desert. It's vast, roughly the size of a basketball court. But its size is not the source of its terror. It's what lies within that inspires dread. Scientists remain unsure of its true nature. A noxious stench, like that of rotten eggs, constantly emanates from its depths. And sometimes strange, unidentifiable, terrifying sounds echo from below. The blackness of this Yemeni sinkhole seems to absorb all light. Even the most powerful flashlights fail to penetrate the darkness. Helicopters have flown overhead. Drones equipped with state-of-the-art cameras have peered into the void, but all they capture is impenetrable blackness. It's a dark stain on the golden sands. The locals avoid the area, believing it to be a gateway to another dimension, a prison for malevolent entities. Currently, this giant hole in Yemen remains one of the most poorly understood and mysterious natural phenomena on our planet. How did it form? How old is it? Where does it lead? Scientists continue to search for answers. One theory suggests that it's a consequence of past construction. Geological surveys involving drilling for minerals may have destabilized the Earth's crust, leading to the collapse. But as of yet, this remains just a theory, shrouded in the same darkness as the hole itself. Venture with us now, to a realm untouched by sunlight for over 5 million years. Imagine a place of perpetual twilight, where oxygen is scarce and the air hangs heavy with cold dampness. Yet, even here, life finds a way. Not just the microscopic realm of microbes and bacteria, but something more. The very conditions that define this cave set it apart, making it a world unto itself, a subterranean planet hidden beneath our own. We find ourselves at Mojave Cave, nestled in southeastern Romania, not far from the Black Sea. The entrance, a mere pinprick in the earth, leads to a winding tunnel that descends into the depths. Here, hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide levels soar, while oxygen dwindles to half the concentration found above. A human would require an oxygen mask to survive, but for the unique creatures that call this place home, it is paradise. Within this hidden world, 48 species thrive, 33 of which are entirely unknown to science. Picture bizarre insects, ghostly white snails and spiders, millipedes adorned with impossibly long whiskers, translucent shrimp, and peculiar leeches unlike any seen elsewhere. Their existence hinges on the remarkable bacteria that form the base of the food chain. These bacteria, true autotrophs, absorb carbon dioxide and release vital food particles, sustaining themselves and, in turn, nourishing the cave's inhabitants. Larger organisms feast on the bacteria, and still larger predators consume those. Within Mojave Cave, evolution has sculpted a self-contained ecosystem, a biological island isolated from the world above. Now, imagine unearthing an ancient city without ever leaving your own home. This is precisely what transpired in 1963 in the Nevşehir province of Turkey. A homeowner, undertaking renovations, stumbled upon a hidden room behind a wall in his basement. Curiosity piqued, he continued to excavate, revealing a tunnel that plunged into the earth. This was the gateway to Derinkuyu, a sprawling underground city of immense proportions. Derinkuyu stands as one of the most profound and intricate multi-level subterranean settlements in Cappadocia, and indeed, all of Turkey. This incredible feat of engineering descends 8 stories deep, offering its inhabitants a comprehensive array of living spaces. Cellars, storage chambers, chapels, a school, a study room, and countless other structures were carved into the rock. A vast network of tunnels connects each level, creating a labyrinthine world beneath the surface. It is believed that Derinkuyu was conceived as a refuge, a place of sanctuary, hidden from the eyes of invaders. Its depth reaches approximately 279 feet. The complex was capable of sheltering an estimated 20,000 people, complete with their livestock and ample food reserves. A 180-foot ventilation shaft served a dual purpose, providing fresh air and a source of water. This well supplied both the surface dwellers and those concealed within the underground city. Ingeniously, those residing on the lower levels possessed the ability to sever the water supply to the upper reaches, safeguarding it from potential poisoning. Defense was paramount in Derinkuyu's design. The tunnels could be sealed from within by massive circular stone doors that could be rolled into place. The passageways themselves were remarkably narrow, forcing potential invaders to enter single file, making them vulnerable to attack. It seems that the inhabitants of the 7th century BCE had anticipated every contingency. Archaeologists suggest that the Phrygians were the original architects of the city's initial levels. Later, during the Roman era, the complex was expanded and embellished with the addition of chapels. However, Derinkuyu reached its zenith during the Byzantine period. But how did these ancient people manage to carve such extensive tunnels? The answer lies in the unique nature of the rock itself. A soft volcanic stone formed millions of years ago by a geological process. Volcanic eruptions blanketed the region in thick ash, which gradually solidified into this easily workable material. Over time, the relentless forces of wind and water eroded the softer portions, leaving behind the more resistant elements. Interestingly, the fairy chimneys of Cappadocia, those bizarrely shaped rock formations, are also sculpted from this same volcanic rock, but they were shaped by nature alone, without human intervention. Our journey now takes us to Kanlıtepe, still in Turkey, where a legend blurs into reality. For 3 millennia, Homer's Iliad was relegated to the realm of myth, the tale of Troy dismissed as mere fiction. But in 1863, a paradigm shift occurred. Frank Calvert, an expatriate, unearthed ancient ruins in western Turkey, convinced that they were the remnants of the legendary city of Troy. Heinrich Schliemann further investigated the site in 1868, and Troy emerged from the shadows of history, bathed in sunlight once more after centuries of obscurity. Troy reveals itself as a city of layers, a palimpsest of civilizations. Over the centuries, 9 distinct cities were constructed upon the ruins of their predecessors. Historians posit that the area's strategic location, straddling the divide between Europe and Asia, transformed it into a bustling hub of trade and cultural exchange. This advantageous position made Troy a coveted prize throughout history. Following the Trojan War, the city was abandoned between 1100 and 700 BCE. Later, Greek settlers rediscovered the site, and Alexander the Great himself held sway over its destiny. Imagine ancient engineers toiling tirelessly to bring intricate designs to life. They craft scaled models of peculiar artifacts, objects that defy explanation. And what do you know? With a little boost from modern engines, these designs actually fly. It's a revelation, a head-scratching enigma, because these objects predate the Wright brothers' first flight by potentially thousands of years. Just another fascinating mystery in our world's long history. Now, let's journey to a place both familiar and profoundly mysterious: the Great Sphinx of Giza in Egypt. This majestic monument, one of humankind's most impressive creations, holds secrets that have eluded scientists and archaeologists for ages. Picture this: a colossal sculpture. A lion's body with a human head carved directly from the living rock. This feat of ancient engineering took place roughly 4,500 years ago. Yet, even today, the exact date of its creation remains shrouded in mystery. We don't know for sure who built it, or perhaps more intriguingly, why. Theories abound, assumptions are plentiful, but concrete evidence? That remains elusive. Most of us have seen images of the Sphinx, or perhaps even stood in its shadow. But almost no one knows what lies beneath. Carved from a single piece of limestone, the Sphinx was once vibrantly painted. Remnants of color pigments still cling to its surface, offering a glimpse into a past where the Sphinx was far more colorful than the weathered monument we see today. But even stripped of its original colors, its greatness endures. And here's a little-known fact: Sphinx isn't the statue's original name. The Greeks coined that term centuries after its creation. The ancient Egyptians knew it as Horm 8. Legend whispers that the Sphinx serves a purpose: a silent guardian watching over the tombs of pharaohs and the secrets of ancient Egypt. These legends gain a certain weight when we consider the hidden entrances discovered at the Sphinx's feet. Could these be the gateways to secret passages, tunnels leading to chambers filled with untold riches? The internet is rife with stories claiming the Sphinx conceals the Hall of Records, a repository of ancient and secret knowledge. Among the treasures supposedly hidden, there are the records of the mythical state of Atlantis. According to these tales, the entire library of Atlantis was moved beneath the Sphinx, with the entrance located near its right paw. Countless archaeologists have searched for this entrance, but so far, all have come up empty-handed. Detailed diagrams circulate, depicting an underground city of tunnels and chambers beneath the Sphinx. Some even claim structures as tall as 12-story buildings lie hidden below, though concrete proof remains absent. Even after millennia, archaeologists continue their exploration of this enigmatic sculpture. Yet, intriguingly, many Egyptians harbor a reluctance to delve too deeply, fearing they might awaken something supernatural. Back in 1998, scientists unearthed tunnels leading to empty caves beneath the Sphinx, finding evidence of previous excavations. The implication is tantalizing. Could someone have already discovered the treasures and made off with them? Some speculate that the Egyptians discovered an artifact beneath the Sphinx, an object possessing unknown advanced technologies, so powerful that it could alter the course of history. While many of these theories border on the realm of conspiracy tales, the confirmed existence of a system of caves and rooms beneath the Sphinx remains a compelling fact. The rumors surrounding the Sphinx are so numerous and contradictory that separating truth from fiction becomes nearly impossible. Studying the sculpture is a delicate and dangerous undertaking. Excavations risk damaging this priceless monument, and the entrances to the underground chambers could become blocked, lost forever beneath tons of rock. Furthermore, extensive exploration demands significant funding, which is not always readily available. And, perhaps most importantly, there's an inherent risk. There's no guarantee that explorers could safely navigate the underground labyrinths. For these reasons, the Sphinx remains an enduring enigma, a puzzle that scientists and archaeologists have been trying to solve for centuries, with no real resolution in sight. Now, let's shift our gaze across the Atlantic to another famous architectural monument shrouded in mystery: Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. We've all seen the iconic images of U.S. presidents' faces carved into the mountainside. But few know that a secret room lies hidden behind the head of Abraham Lincoln. The architect of Mount Rushmore originally envisioned carving slabs into the rock, chronicling the key events in American history. However, this plan proved too ambitious. Instead, he proposed a scaled-down version, a secret room within the mountain designed to preserve this knowledge for future generations, ensuring they would never forget the nation's story. Imagine journeying back in time, long before the modern world as we know it. Our first stop, a glimpse of ancient conflict. The Romans, in their relentless expansion, once stormed a mighty city. Speaking of this legendary event, the first sight that greets visitors to this historical site is a striking replica: the iconic wooden Trojan horse, immortalized in a movie from 2004. Now, let's fast forward and travel to Lothal, a city unearthed in India during the 1950s, along with several other Harappan sites. These discoveries dramatically expanded the known boundaries of the Indus Valley civilization. Lothal, a vital hub within this ancient civilization, thrived on its vast fields of cotton and rice. Imagine bustling factories, where skilled artisans meticulously crafted beads from semi-precious stones like agate. These beads, unearthed in distant Mesopotamia, stand as irrefutable evidence of Lothal's vibrant trade connections. Archaeologists believe that this city was a crucial link in an ancient trade network. We see traces of agriculture. Check. Evidence of thriving trade. Check. But there's more. The skeletal remains of residential buildings, meticulously planned streets, bathing pavements, and sophisticated drainage systems all paint a vivid picture of early urbanization. The town's construction was a testament to advanced planning. There were modern houses, some boasting 6 rooms, private bathrooms, spacious courtyards, and even verandas, luxuries of their time. Lothal also possessed the world's oldest known dock, a marvel of engineering that connected the city to the Sabarmati River and the wider trade routes. Our journey now takes us across the globe to the ancient Mayan city of Calakmul, nestled deep within the tropical forests of the Tierras Bajas in southern Mexico. Between 500 CE and 800 CE, Calakmul was a bustling metropolis, home to over 50,000 people. A central plaza formed the heart of the city, surrounded by sprawling outer districts. When we consider the inhabitants of both the central area and the surrounding regions, Calakmul's population swelled to over 1.5 million people. this city thrived for an astonishing 12 centuries. It's believed that Calakmul boasted more constructions than any other excavated Mayan settlement in the region. But like many great civilizations, Calakmul faced a period of decline after 1000 CE. The once thriving center of Mesoamerica was almost entirely abandoned. The ancient city, situated at the heart of the second largest tropical forest in America, remains remarkably well preserved. Today, a visit to Calakmul allows us to imagine life in ancient Mayan times. The city's remains include architectural complexes, intricately sculpted monuments, sophisticated defensive systems, quarries, advanced water management features, agricultural terraces, and colossal temple pyramids and palaces. Countless body ornaments and other artifacts offer further insights into the complex, organized societies that once flourished in this tropical forest. The Mayans skillfully depicted nature in their paintings, pottery, sculptures, rituals, and even their food. Let's now venture to a place that was once considered nothing more than a legend. The city of Thonis Heraclean, mentioned only in a handful of inscriptions and ancient texts, lay hidden for millennia, waiting to be rediscovered. Scientists meticulously searched the Egyptian coast until archaeologist Frank Gaudio and his team made a breathtaking discovery: a colossal face emerging from the depths. The ancient city of Heraclean was found completely submerged, 4 miles off the coast of Alexandria. Within the ruins of this lost city lay a treasure trove: 64 ships, 700 anchors, and a vast collection of gold coins. But perhaps the most significant discoveries were a towering 16-foot-tall statue and the remains of a grand temple. In its heyday, Heraclean was a place of vibrant ceremonies and celebrations centered around the Temple of Amun. The ruins and artifacts, crafted from durable granite and diorite, remained remarkably well preserved, even after centuries of submersion. They offer us a glimpse into life 2,300 years ago in one of the world's most important trade ports. Imagine a network of canals crisscrossing the city, an ancient Egyptian Venice. These canals connected numerous separate harbors and anchorages. Towers, temples, houses, and other structures were linked by bridges, creating a cohesive urban landscape. Thonis Heraclean served as Egypt's primary port for international trade and the collection of taxes. The city's demise remains shrouded in mystery, but archaeologists attribute it to natural causes. Around the end of the 2nd century BCE, likely after a catastrophic flood, Heraclean was swallowed by the sea. Alexandria, the city founded by Alexander the Great, rose to prominence, eclipsing Heraclean's former glory. Before Alexandria's rise, Heraclean was the main gateway to Egypt. After the disaster, ships bound for Heraclean were forced to change course and sail to Alexandria. Heraclean faded into obscurity until its rediscovery in 1933. Finally, we arrive at Mesa Verde, an American national park in Colorado. This park is the largest archaeological preserve in the United States, boasting over 5,000 sites. Imagine traveling back in time to the southwestern United States. Here, nestled among the plateaus and canyons, lie the majestic Mesa Verde cliff dwellings. The name Mesa Verde, meaning green table in Spanish, aptly describes the region's landscape. Mountains with strikingly flat tops and sheer, steep sides. This is more than just a beautiful vista. It's an ancestral Puebloan archaeological site, a window into a civilization that thrived here for centuries. As far back as 7500 BCE, nomadic Paleo-Indians frequented Mesa Verde. These early inhabitants were resourceful hunters, skilled gatherers, and pioneering crop farmers. Over time, they transitioned from nomadic life to building the first pueblos, or villages, in the region. But it was towards the end of the 12th century that the Mesa Verde people embarked on their most ambitious architectural endeavors, constructing the awe-inspiring cliff dwellings that now stand as the park's most iconic features. These structures, carved into the very rock face, are a testament to their ingenuity and resilience. Now, let's journey across the Atlantic to Hierapolis, Turkey. Imagine stepping through a seemingly innocuous, small stone doorway. This isn't just any entrance, it's a portal, known in ancient times as the Plutonium, named after Pluto, the god of the underworld. But beware, for this seemingly harmless threshold could be your last. In Roman times, this place inspired dread and fascination. Spectators would watch in horror as perfectly healthy bulls, led into the enclosure, would inexplicably collapse within minutes, as if struck down by an unseen, deadly force. Yet strangely, people seemed immune. They could walk in and out, seemingly unaffected by the mysterious phenomenon. Modern science may have finally unraveled the mystery behind these eerie occurrences. Hierapolis sits atop a geologically active area, riddled with cracks that constantly emit volcanic carbon dioxide. This colorless, odorless gas seeps out as a visible mist. During the day, the sun's rays dissipate the gas, rendering it less dangerous. But as night falls, the carbon dioxide accumulates, forming a deadly lake on the floor of the sheltered cave, reaching depths of over 15 inches. As dawn approaches, the concentration of carbon dioxide near the ground becomes lethally high, reaching a staggering 35%. At this level, birds, bulls, and even humans can suffocate within minutes. However, there's a scientific explanation for why the Roman handlers survived. The carbon dioxide concentration decreases rapidly with height. While the animals perished, the taller handlers, standing upright, were able to breathe safely and escape the deadly fumes. From Turkey, we now travel to India, about 146 miles from Delhi, where stands the Bhangar Fort. This 16th century fortress is not for the faint of heart. It's known as one of the most haunted places in India, a place where darkness holds sway. During the day, the fort bustles with tourists, exploring the ruins of temples and palaces. But a stark warning sign at the main gate reminds everyone that access is strictly forbidden after dark. Locals whisper of chilling occurrences after sunset, the sounds of women screaming and crying, the shattering of bangles, and eerie disembodied music echoing through the ruins. Some have reported seeing shadowy figures flitting among the crumbling walls, strange lights flickering in the darkness, and an inexplicable heavy perfume hanging in the air. Our journey continues to Japan, to a small, unassuming forest called Yatanino Yabushiasu, located in Ichikawa. This isn't a sprawling wilderness, it's a small patch of Mosu bamboo, barely larger than 40 square yards. Nestled next to a parking lot and modern buildings, it seems almost innocuous. But don't let its appearance deceive you. Since at least the 19th century, Yatanino Yabushiasu has been shrouded in a chilling legend. Locals say that anyone who dares to enter this forest is doomed to disappear, never to be seen again. A sign near the forest entrance warns of its dark history and the curse believed to be linked to it. Some whisper of the restless spirit of an ancient samurai lord wandering among the bamboo stalks. Other legends claim that the forest conceals a bottomless pit filled with poisonous gas. Whether these stories are true or not, the area is now enclosed by imposing stone walls, and entry remains strictly prohibited, a testament to the enduring power of fear and superstition. Finally, let's venture to the Dark Entry Forest in Connecticut, USA, where you'll find the remains of Dudleytown. But heed this warning. Do not enter. Not only is the land private property, but it's also known as one of the most unsettling places on Earth. Dudleytown was first settled in the early 1740s, primarily by members of the Dudley family. Local lore claims that the town's founders were descendants of Edmund Dudley, an English nobleman executed for treason. Legend says that a curse followed the Dudley family across the Atlantic, blighting their new settlement with crop failures, mental illness, and a string of tragic incidents. While historians have found no concrete evidence to support these claims, the rumors persist, painting Dudleytown as a place forever stained by misfortune. Imagine a place cloaked in perpetual darkness, where shadows dance and whispers echo through the halls. This isn't a scene from a horror movie, but the reality surrounding an abandoned palace in Egypt. Once a lavish residence belonging to the family of King Farouk, the penultimate ruler of Egypt in 1936, it's now a place locals avoid at all costs. After the last of the family members passed away, the palace was repurposed into a morgue, and it seems the spirits of the departed never truly left. Stories abound of flickering lights and eerie shadows playing tricks on the eyes, accompanied by unsettling noises that send shivers down the spine. Legend has it that a group of adventurous kids once dared to enter, only to be met with a terrifying surprise. All the doors had vanished, plunging them into absolute darkness. Panic set in, and their desperate screams for help pierced the silence. The eerie Blair Witch Project vibe of the place fueled many ghost stories back in the 1980s. Unfortunately, this eventually led to vandalism, and the landowners closed the area to the public. Now, let's journey to a remote corner of the Hawaiian Islands, to a place untouched by modern life. Niihau, the Forbidden Island, is a privately owned island where time seems to stand still. This isolated paradise, spanning roughly 69 square miles, is home to only about 84 residents. There are no paved roads, no cell phone service, and no power lines crisscrossing the landscape, just the gentle hum of solar panels providing electricity. Since 1864, the island has been in the hands of the Robinson family, descendants of a Scottish farmer who purchased it for a mere $10,000, a sum equivalent to around $250,000 today. The Robinsons have fiercely guarded their privacy, making access to Niihau extremely limited, granted only by invitation. Our next destination takes us to the heart of Europe, where a mysterious network of underground tunnels lies hidden beneath the surface. The Earth-Stall tunnels, numbering around 2,000, snake their way through the earth, primarily in Austria and Bavaria. These narrow passageways, often barely wide enough for a single person to squeeze through, are believed to date back to the Middle Ages, perhaps as early as the 12th century. The true purpose of these tunnels remains an enigma. Theories suggest they were used for storage, but this seems impractical considering many sections lie below the water table, prone to flooding. Their claustrophobic nature, coupled with sudden drops, makes them unsuitable as escape routes, hiding places, or even for spiritual rituals. Adding to the mystery is the complete absence of artifacts, leaving researchers baffled as to their original function. Now, ascend to the summit of a massive monolith in the Australian outback. Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock, is a sacred site for the local Aboriginal communities. Climbing this iconic landmark has been prohibited since 2019, not only out of respect for its cultural significance, but also due to the inherent dangers it poses. Rising to a height of 1,142 feet, roughly the equivalent of an 80-story building, the climb to the summit can be treacherous. Slippery surfaces and scorching temperatures, often soaring to 116 degrees in the summer, have led to numerous incidents of dehydration and heat stroke, some with fatal consequences. But the mysteries of Uluru don't end there. After a storm, a bizarre phenomenon occurs in the temporary waterholes and rock pools that form on its summit. Tiny tadpole-like crustaceans, known as shield shrimp, emerge from their dormant state. These ancient creatures, measuring about 3 inches in length, are survivors from a bygone era. They were here before us, and they are likely to be here long after we are gone. Their super-resilient eggs, scattered across the landscape, lie dormant until the next rainfall triggers their awakening. They then feast on microorganisms and bacteria, engaging in a frantic race against time before the pools evaporate once more. How these strange creatures colonize the fleeting pools atop Uluru remains a puzzle. The most plausible explanation is that their eggs are carried there by the wind, hitching a ride on the desert breeze. Finally, consider the story of Kenny Veach, a seasoned hiker who vanished without a trace in the unforgiving Mojave Desert. In 2014, the 47-year-old told his family he was embarking on a 2-day hiking trip, his destination a mysterious cave he had discovered during a previous expedition. But Kenny never returned. Despite an extensive search involving helicopters and over 30 search and rescue teams, no sign of him was ever found. Was the enigmatic MC Cave somehow responsible for his disappearance? What makes Kenny's case so perplexing is his vast experience as a desert hiker. He was an ultralight hiker, carrying only the bare essentials, water, food, and a tent, enough for several days of camping. He rarely bothered with a GPS device, compass, or map, relying on his instincts and knowledge of the terrain. Some might call him reckless, but he had always returned home safely. Until that fateful trip. Imagine the vast sun-baked landscape of the Nevada desert. Our story centers on Kenny, a seasoned adventurer known online as Snake-Bit McGee. This wasn't just some casual nickname. Kenny had a knack for encountering snakes, often capturing them on his YouTube channel, which documented his rugged exploits. But snakes weren't Kenny's only fascination. He possessed an insatiable curiosity for the hidden depths of the desert, specifically its caves. While Kenny regularly shared snippets of his life online, posting wasn't his sole focus. He actively engaged with the online community, commenting on the adventures of others. It was in one of these comments, dating back to June 2014, that he first alluded to a peculiar discovery. A mysterious cave shaped like the letter M. This cave, he claimed, was nestled somewhere in the Sheep Mountains, a rugged range north of Las Vegas. Kenny's description of the M-shaped cave is where our tale takes a bizarre turn. He recounted spotting the unique entrance during one of his hikes. Drawn closer by its unusual form, he approached, but something felt deeply wrong. According to Kenny, his body began to tremble violently as he neared the cave's mouth. The vibrations, he said, were so intense that they filled him with dread, forcing him to retreat. He was, in his own words, genuinely scared for his life. Consider this. Kenny was no novice. He was a seasoned trekker with 2 decades of experience under his belt. He fearlessly explored caves that others wouldn't dare approach. He'd faced rattlesnake bites that landed him in the hospital for a week. His journeys had yielded countless discoveries, from ancient animal traps to sun-bleached skulls of unknown creatures. He slept under the stars on remote mountain peaks. Once, he even endured a grueling 20-mile trek with an injured leg, navigating scorching 100-degree heat with only a single cup of water. Kenny Veach was a true survivalist, yet this M-shaped cave left him shaken. He confessed to feeling utterly unprepared for whatever force emanated from within. He possessed the tools to crack open a can of beans, but nothing to combat the unseen energy that seized his body. However, Kenny was not one to back down easily. He vowed to return to the M cave, this time armed and ready. Months later, he made good on his promise. He returned better equipped, but the expedition proved fruitless. He recorded a video documenting his renewed search, but the cave remained elusive. Was this the end of the line? Would this experienced explorer finally admit defeat? Not a chance. His dedicated followers on social media urged him to unravel the mystery, fueling his determination. So, Kenny ventured back into the desert for a 3rd time, planning a short overnight trip. But this time, he vanished without a trace. After 2 days of silence, his family raised the alarm, prompting authorities to launch a full-scale search. Here's where the story takes an even darker twist. In one of his earlier videos, Kenny had stood before an abandoned mine shaft, outlining his mission to his viewers. This very spot became a focal point in the search. Rescue teams located Kenny's phone near the mine shaft 10 days into the operation. From there, the trail went cold. Rescuers, fearing the worst, deployed a camera down the shaft, but found nothing. For an entire month, Kenny's whereabouts remained a mystery. Then, an unknown woman emerged online, claiming to be Kenny's girlfriend. She recounted accompanying him on long hikes and cautioned others to use GPS to avoid getting lost. But then came a bombshell that stunned the online community. The woman suggested that Kenny's disappearance was no accident. She revealed that her alleged boyfriend had been struggling with serious personal issues, having quit his job a year prior. Was it possible that Kenny Veach had deliberately ventured into the desert to end his own life? Many remained unconvinced. Kenny's daughter firmly believed that her father, a survivor, had simply suffered an accident. But the questions persisted. Was the M cave somehow responsible for his disappearance? Had he stumbled upon something or someone he shouldn't have? The theories swirled, fueled by fellow hikers and YouTubers determined to solve the enigma of the M cave and, in doing so, uncover the truth behind Kenny Veach's fate. In 2021, a glimmer of hope emerged. A hiker claimed to have located the elusive M cave. Citing safety concerns, he withheld its precise location, revealing only that it lay somewhere near Nevada State Route 375 East. The cave's entrance, he confirmed, resembled an oversized letter M, just as Kenny had described. However, the shape was nearly impossible to discern from ground level, becoming apparent only from an aerial perspective. For years, hikers may have unknowingly walked past the cave's hidden entrance. Even Kenny himself couldn't relocate it on his second attempt. The cave itself wasn't particularly deep, but the entrance held a peculiar feature: a straight line of rocks, as if someone had attempted to wall it off. And at the back of the cave, an even stranger discovery awaited. Imagine stumbling upon scattered fragments of wood lying amidst the ancient stone. These aren't just any pieces of wood. They bear an uncanny resemblance to modern 2-4s, the kind used in construction. Could this have been a doorway, long lost to time? And there, jutting out from the cold rock, a rusted nail. Perhaps it once secured a latch, a relic from a forgotten age. But the most baffling clue of all is etched into the wall itself. Crude writing, a word half swallowed by the ages. Hatch. Or perhaps beach. The meaning remains frustratingly elusive. The hiker who unearthed this hidden chamber didn't linger to decipher its secrets. It wasn't some ghostly premonition that drove him away, no strange vibrations like in a horror film. Simply the stark reality of his surroundings. A desolate cave swallowed by the vast emptiness of the Mojave Desert. Ah, the Mojave! One of the most unforgiving landscapes our planet offers. Could this be the key to unlocking the mystery of Kenny Veach's vanishing act back in 2014? The desert's reputation is well-earned. Here, scientists have recorded the highest temperature ever known on Earth, a scorching 134 degrees Fahrenheit. Even on an average summer day, the mercury can climb to a brutal 113 degrees. But don't be fooled into thinking it's all heat. As darkness descends, the temperature plummets, often dipping below freezing. A climate roller coaster designed to test the limits of human endurance. And the perils don't end there. This arid expanse, the driest and hottest place in the United States, teems with dangerous life. Mountain lions, venomous lizards, scorpions, spiders, wasps. A veritable rogues gallery of creatures capable of ending an unsuspecting hiker's journey. There's a reason Kenny always wore snake guards when he ventured into this wilderness. And then there are the mine shafts. Relics of a bygone era, these abandoned tunnels honeycomb the landscape. Local authorities issue stern warnings: stay away. These mines, dating back to the 1800s, are notoriously unstable. A single misstep can send a person tumbling into a hidden abyss, and the dangers within are legion. Pockets of stagnant, unbreathable air lurk in the depths, ready to suffocate the unwary. And let's not forget the wildlife, those charming residents of the desert. Rattlesnakes, scorpions, black widow spiders. All thrive in the darkness of these forgotten places. Kenny Veach could have easily stumbled into one of these treacherous shafts, lost and beyond help, in this sparsely populated corner of Nevada. But let's leave the dangers behind for a moment and embark on a journey to some truly surreal hidden places. Grab your flashlight, pack your backpack, and prepare for an adventure. Our first stop, the mountainous heart of Switzerland. We find ourselves in the town of Waltenberg, nestled in the eastern part of the country. The rain is coming down in sheets, and the air is biting cold, but we press on, making our way towards the base of a towering mountain. After a challenging climb, a bizarre sight emerges from the mist. A castle unlike any you've ever seen. To reach it, we must traverse a pathway so narrow, it seems carved for mountain goats. Don't look down, you mutter to yourself, tightening the straps of your backpack and edging forward. Finally, we stand before the castle's entrance, and the reality of it hits you. A 13th century fortress hewn entirely from stone. Today, all that remains of Croftenstein Castle are its ruins, but they are remarkably well preserved. You can almost see the knights and ladies who once walked these ramparts. We explore its crumbling walls, but a sense of unease settles in, and we feel compelled to move on. Our next destination, Turkey. A plain journey, followed by a long drive, brings us to the city of Çorum, in the northern reaches of the country. Just outside Çorum, a valley unfolds, dotted with ancient, overgrown mountains. Here we find the start of a trail, beckoning us upwards. The path is brutally steep, but it leads to an extraordinary sight. A secret door, carved directly into the mountainside. We have arrived at Kaplıkaya. The massive door is actually a colossal stone arch, sealing the entrance to a hidden structure. Experts believe it dates back to the 2nd century BCE. Unfortunately, the massive door remains stubbornly shut. What secrets lie within remains a mystery. Some speculate that it's a single vast chamber. Locals whisper tales of a hidden treasure, but to this day, no one has managed to breach the stone barrier. With the sun beginning to dip below the horizon, we must press on. Next, we have a rare opportunity to travel to Ethiopia. As we wander through the city of Lalibela, we stumble upon a colossal pit carved deep into the earth. Approaching cautiously, a breathtaking sight unfolds before us. A magnificent terracotta building, so intricately detailed that it leaves us speechless. And that's just the beginning. There are 10 other pits, each concealing a similar marvel, all commissioned by King Lalibela in the 12th century. These 11 structures, each unique yet sharing a distinct architectural style, were carved entirely by hand over a span of 24 years, using only chisels. An incredible feat, considering that these buildings reach heights of up to 50 feet, roughly the height of 5 African elephants stacked one atop another, if such a thing were possible. This unconventional method of construction makes them entirely monolithic, meaning they... Imagine traveling back in time, not in a machine, but through ancient wonders carved into the very bones of the earth. We begin our journey in Ethiopia, a land of stark beauty and ancient secrets. Here we find ourselves amidst the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela. Imagine these structures, not built, but sculpted from a single colossal piece of stone. A testament to human ingenuity and faith, these churches leave an indelible mark. From the spiritual heights of Ethiopia, we journey to the sun-drenched shores of southern Italy, to the region nestled at the tip of the boot. No arduous trek awaits us here, only the ancient city of Sassi di Matera. Carved into the steep slopes of a hillside, Matera transports us to the Paleolithic era. Stone houses and ancient structures line the landscape, unlike anything you've ever witnessed. Known locally as Dasassi, this site whispers tales of some of Italy's earliest human settlements, dating back over 9,000 years. As we wander through the town, we might find ourselves invited into one of the cave-like dwellings. And, remarkably, some of the streets themselves run atop the very roofs of these homes. Talk about Paleolithic urban planning. Now, our journey takes us to Slovenia, where we encounter the imposing Pajama Castle, the world's largest cave castle. Built atop a towering 400-foot cliff, this medieval fortress was designed to be impenetrable. Today, security is thankfully more relaxed, but for the adventurous, a secret awaits. A network of underground tunnels offering a less touristy entrance. These passageways, constructed over 800 years ago for the castle's owner, served as secret supply routes. Today, Pajama Castle exudes an aura of mystery, its enchantment amplified on cold, stormy nights. Leaving the medieval world behind, we venture into the heart of the Jordanian desert to witness the grandeur of Petra. Here, water and sunscreen are essential as the desert sun beats down. But the reward is immeasurable. Petra, a city carved from sandstone cliffs, stands as a marvel of the ancient world. In the 4th century BCE, this region thrived as a trading hub, a crossroads of commercial routes. Petra was a wealthy city, home to the Nabateans, an Arab Bedouin tribe that flourished for centuries. The iconic rock-carved structure, known as the Pharaoh's Treasury, stands guard at the main entrance, rumored to conceal untold riches within its walls. The allure of hidden treasure is strong, but that's an adventure for another time. Our journey now takes us across continents, to the Americas. Our first stop is the mountainous state of Colorado, USA, where we discover Mesa Verde National Park. Nestled amidst lush greenery, we find over 600 dwellings built within caves carved deep into the mountainside. This ancient village, now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, was constructed by the Pueblo people around the 1190s. One of its most impressive structures is the Cliff Palace, a multi-story construction crafted from sandstone and mud mortar. This palace alone housed over 150 rooms. For those seeking a challenge, the balcony house awaits, accessible only by climbing a 32-foot ladder. Here, we find a mid-sized village of 38 rooms, including 2 kivas, traditional chambers built by the Puebloans for ceremonial purposes. Still within the United States, we journey to the hills of South Dakota, home to the colossal Mount Rushmore. But beneath the surface lies a hidden secret. During the monument's construction, a 70-foot-long secret tunnel was carved behind the head of Abraham Lincoln. This tunnel was initially intended to house documents and artifacts of immense importance to the United States. The designers ultimately decided to conceal these treasures within a secure box embedded in the tunnel floor. The box contains the story of Mount Rushmore's creation, along with a brief history of the U.S. and the 4 presidents immortalized on the mountain. Our next destination is Machu Picchu, a South American marvel hidden high within the Peruvian Andes. The very existence of Machu Picchu is shrouded in mystery. Researchers still grapple with understanding how the ancient Inca civilization managed to construct this stone citadel around 1450 CE. Reaching Machu Picchu requires a challenging 3-day hike, ascending to an altitude of 8,000 feet above sea level. Alternatively, a train offers a less strenuous journey. But we're here for a hidden discovery. In 2010, French engineer David Crespi, while surveying the Inca ruins, stumbled upon a previously unseen door. Sealed off by stone, it held the promise of untold secrets. Imagine journeying back in time, Indiana Jones style, to a remote location. Our story begins with a determined researcher revisiting a mysterious site months after an initial exploration. Armed with an electromagnetic scanner, a device capable of peering behind solid walls, he scanned the area. The results were astonishing. The scanner indicated substantial quantities of metal concealed behind a sealed doorway. The researcher, driven by the potential significance of his discovery, promptly contacted the Peruvian authorities, seeking permission to remove the obstructing rocks and access what lay beyond. But his request was met with bureaucratic resistance. As of this moment, the door remained stubbornly locked, guarding its secrets. A frustrating end to a long and arduous journey. Perhaps it is time for a well-deserved rest. Now, let's shift our focus to another equally intriguing location. Göbekli Tepe. This ancient site in Turkey has literally forced historians to rewrite the very foundations of our understanding of the past. Picture this. Over 11,000 years ago, a group of prehistoric humans, with ingenuity beyond what we previously imagined, crafted an enigmatic masterpiece, predating even the iconic Stonehenge. Prior to this groundbreaking discovery, archaeologists held firm to a particular narrative. They believed that humans of this era lacked knowledge of metallurgy, were incapable of sophisticated pottery production, and that settled life only arose from the necessity of agriculture. Göbekli Tepe shattered these long-held assumptions. The site revealed a paradigm shift. The construction of a temple complex preceded and, in fact, paved the way for settled life, not the other way around. Until this revelation, the prevailing wisdom held that farming was the primary catalyst for sedentary living. Enter Professor Schmidt, the visionary whose findings challenged and ultimately overturned this established theory. He demonstrated that hunter-gatherer communities laid the groundwork for this transformative shift. Interestingly, back in the 1960s, other archaeologists had surveyed the very same area, but they completely missed the significance of what lay beneath their feet. While mapping the region, they encountered a hill littered with scattered limestone slabs and dismissed it as a medieval burial ground. Little did they know the monumental discovery that awaited. In 1994, Professor Schmidt embarked on his own survey of prehistoric sites in the region. And then, the revelation. He immediately recognized that he had stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. Unlike the surrounding flat and desolate plateaus, Göbekli Tepe featured a gently rounded summit rising approximately 50 feet above the landscape. The name itself, translating to Potbelly Hill, hints at its unique form. Schmidt was immediately convinced that only human hands could have shaped such a structure. Those seemingly insignificant broken limestone pieces, once mistaken for mere gravestones, transformed into something far more exciting. It was akin to unearthing a hidden treasure, a portal to a forgotten past. These fragments took on a new meaning, and Schmidt, along with his dedicated team, prepared to delve into the secrets concealed beneath the surface. To their astonishment, initial excavations revealed no evidence of a typical settlement. There were no hearths for cooking, no residential structures, and none of the charming clay figurines commonly found at other sites of comparable age. However, they did uncover evidence that these ancient people used tools, specifically stone hammers. Schmidt and his team then pooled their expertise and ventured a preliminary estimate of the age of Göbekli Tepe's stone structures. This estimation was subsequently reinforced by limited carbon dating conducted on site. The ancient aura of this place began to solidify, like a puzzle gradually assembling itself. It may seem implausible that people of that era possessed the means to create something as sophisticated as Göbekli Tepe. However, it turns out that these prehistoric builders utilized flint tools in lieu of more advanced metal chisels. They demonstrated remarkable skill in carving the relatively softer limestone and fashioning pillars directly at the quarry. Subsequently, they transported these pillars a short distance to the summit and erected them. Once the stone rings were complete, they covered them with layers of dirt. Over countless generations, they added new rings, culminating in the creation of the distinctive hill that would captivate future generations. During the initial year of excavation, the team unearthed over 15,000 fragments of animal bones, representing a diverse array of wild creatures. These people did not keep domesticated animals, nor did they cultivate their own food. Instead, they relied on hunting wild game for sustenance. But the seeds of change were already present, as the location possessed all the necessary elements for the advent of farming. Scientists have identified the presence of wild sheep and wild grains that were amenable to domestication. And remarkably, a mere 20 meters away, geneticists discovered evidence of the world's oldest domesticated strains of wheat within a prehistoric village. These extraordinary discoveries have profoundly altered our understanding of the trajectory of civilization. Traditionally, experts believed that the acquisition of farming skills and the establishment of settled communities were prerequisites for the construction of temples and the development of complex societies. However, Schmidt's research inverts this paradigm. He posits that the immense effort invested in constructing these astonishing structures actually laid the groundwork for the evolution of advanced societies. This implies that societal and cultural transformations preceded the advent of agriculture. Schmidt proposes a compelling hypothesis regarding Göbekli Tepe, suggesting it may have served as a unique burial site where people interred their loved ones. Imagine stepping back in time, not just centuries, but millennia. We find ourselves at Göbekli Tepe, an archaeological site shrouded in mystery, a place where the echoes of our ancient ancestors resonate. Here the story takes an unexpected turn, a twist that challenges our understanding of the past. The very ground beneath our feet holds secrets, for this burial site was not just a final resting place. Before us stand elaborate statues and symbols, each a representation of deities from a spiritual realm, a testament to the beliefs of those who came before. The notion that Göbekli Tepe may have served as a sacred space adds yet another layer of intrigue to this already complex narrative. While the true purpose of this ancient site may forever remain elusive, the insights gleaned from its excavation invite us to ponder the profound connection between life, the afterlife, and the deep reverence that ancient hunter-gatherer societies held for their departed ancestors. Now let's turn our attention to the true stars of this ancient stage, the mesmerizing T-shaped columns that dominate Göbekli Tepe. These enigmatic structures, reaching heights of 10 to 20 feet, most likely represent stylized human figures frozen in stone for eternity. But one figure, in particular, commands our attention: a three-dimensional lion relief. This remarkable depiction ignites our imagination, hinting at a time when lions may have roamed the Anatolian landscape during the Neolithic period. Imagine these majestic beasts prowling the same lands where these towering stones now stand. These standing stones, silent witnesses to the passage of time, are arranged in circles and carefully placed within rectangular pits. Each circle follows a similar design, featuring two large T-shaped pillars at its center, surrounded by slightly smaller pillars facing inward. A truly stylish arrangement, a testament to the artistic sensibilities of our ancient forebears. These towering pillars reach a staggering 16 feet in height and weigh between 7 and 10 tons. Some pillars stand plain and unadorned, while others are veritable works of art, adorned with intricate carvings that bring the past to life. Foxes, scorpions, and vultures crawl and twist across the pillars' sides, each carving a window into the world of these ancient people. But it's not just animals that are depicted on these stones. Some pillars bear abstract shapes representing humans, while others even feature small carvings of clothing items, some complete with belts. These details offer us a glimpse into the daily lives, the beliefs, and the very essence of a civilization that thrived millennia ago. Now, let's focus on one pillar that stands apart from the rest, a true rock star of the ancient world. This incredibly old stone pillar suggests that a comet once crashed into Earth, an event that triggered a chilling period lasting approximately 1,000 years. Previous studies examining Greenland ice cores had hinted at this comet theory, but the carvings at Göbekli Tepe provide compelling new evidence, solidifying the idea that a cataclysmic event shaped the world of our ancestors. The carvings on these pillars are like a historical comic strip, telling a story of survival and resilience in the face of unimaginable catastrophe. They even depict a headless human figure, a haunting reminder of the devastation that once swept across the land. Researchers fed these images into a computer and discovered their connections to constellations, suggesting that this temple may have served as an ancient observatory, a place where our ancestors tracked the movements of the stars and sought to understand their place in the cosmos. It's as if they were trying to document this cataclysmic event in their own unique way, leaving behind a record for future generations to decipher. Archaeologists have been excavating and researching Göbekli Tepe since the mid-1990s, meticulously peeling back layers of history and providing us with a deeper understanding of the intricate relationships between various elements of this ancient site. And they have no plans to halt this painstaking process for another 150 years. Who knows what other secrets lie buried beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed? For years, Göbekli Tepe has been labeled purely as a ritual site, with no evidence of domestic activities. We were led to believe that the absence of water meant it couldn't support semi-sedentary communities. But now, scientists are challenging these long-held assumptions, urging us to approach Göbekli Tepe with fresh eyes. It's time to question what we thought we knew, to embrace new evidence, and to explore different ways of thinking. Perhaps a group of people lived in the area, not permanently settled in one place, but moving around while still maintaining their own civilization, living in a semi-sedentary manner. Göbekli Tepe is not just home to a single temple, but to an astounding collection of over 20 ancient structures. As archaeologists delve deeper into the depths of this wonder, they are unraveling its unique layout, featuring two prominent focal points at the heart of each establishment, complemented by smaller structures and dividing walls. What's even more astonishing is that within this area, there are over 200 obelisks, narrow, tapering monuments that reach towards the sky, silent sentinels guarding the secrets of the past. Imagine a hidden room, a time capsule sealed within the very walls of America's most iconic residence. Deep within the White House, there lies a secret chamber, a repository of artifacts intended to tell the story of a nation to future generations. Sadly, fate intervened, and the architect's vision was never fully realized. Construction ground to a halt, leaving the room unfinished for decades. Then, in the late 1990s, the project was unexpectedly revived. Beautiful porcelain enamel panels, each depicting a chapter of American history, were carefully installed within the chamber. It is quite possible that these historical plates remain there to this day, unseen and inaccessible to the public, locked away due to the complexities of accessing the space. And the secrets don't end there. High above the bustling streets of Manhattan, in the legendary Empire State Building, another hidden gem awaits discovery. While not a room in the traditional sense, it's a vantage point offering unparalleled photographic opportunities. Most tourists flock to the 86th floor observation deck, eager to capture the breathtaking panoramic views. However, a lesser-known deck exists on the 102nd floor, boasting equally stunning vistas framed by panoramic windows. The relative obscurity of this location means fewer crowds and shorter lines. Imagine the satisfaction of discovering this hidden spot, a secret known to only a few. But the true pinnacle of the Empire State Building experience lies even higher, on the elusive 103rd floor. This expansive observation deck is typically reserved for celebrities and VIPs, offering an unobstructed view of the city below. Access to this exclusive space is not open to the general public, but with the right connections, entry is possible. Surprisingly, security measures are minimal, with only a low ledge separating visitors from the dizzying heights. This lack of protection is precisely why large crowds are prohibited. Reaching this coveted spot requires navigating a labyrinthine path, often requiring the assistance of a knowledgeable guide. First, one must select the correct elevator, the one that ascends to these hidden levels. This is followed by a journey through a maze of engineering rooms, filled with a bewildering array of pipes, electrical panels, and other technical equipment. The final leg of the journey involves climbing a series of stairs within a narrow corridor. And then, you emerge, triumphant, at the very summit of New York City. Let's now teleport across the Atlantic to the romantic city of Paris. Before us stands the Eiffel Tower, a symbol of architectural ingenuity and Parisian charm. Within its intricate ironwork, restaurants and observation decks cater to tourists from around the globe. But hidden from plain sight, a secret apartment awaits discovery. Originally conceived as a private residence, this apartment was the brainchild of Gustave Eiffel himself, the tower's visionary architect. Constructed in 1889, this exclusive space offered Eiffel a personal retreat high above the bustling city. Imagine the unparalleled views he enjoyed each day, a privilege granted to no one else. Eiffel remained the sole occupant of this unique dwelling. After his death, the apartment remained vacant for many years. Recently, it has been meticulously restored and transformed into a museum, offering visitors a glimpse into the past. The atmosphere of the late 19th century has been carefully recreated, complete with wax figures of Eiffel, his daughter, and the renowned American inventor Thomas Edison. Back in New York City, the cacophony of Grand Central Station assaults the senses. Amidst the throngs of commuters, the echoing announcements, and the screech of train wheels, an unexpected sound can be heard, the unmistakable thwack of a tennis ball against a racket. Tucked away within the station's vast interior lies a hidden tennis court, a secret recreational space belonging to a private tennis club. This exclusive club caters to corporate clients, hosting tournaments and providing a unique amenity for employees of various companies. Established in the 1960s, the tennis court remains a well-kept secret, a testament to the hidden depths of Grand Central Station. Our journey now takes us to London, specifically to Charing Cross Road. Finding a secret here requires a keen eye and a willingness to look down. Embedded in the asphalt, almost unnoticed, are a series of sewer grates. Peer through the openings, and you will spot two signs bearing the name Little Compton Street. Believe it or not, another street lies hidden beneath your feet, a forgotten thoroughfare that disappeared from maps at the end of the 19th century when Charing Cross Road was constructed above it. The signs are relics of the old engineering tunnels that once served Little Compton Street, a ghostly reminder of a bygone era. Nearby, in the southeast corner of Trafalgar Square, stands another intriguing anomaly. At first glance, it appears to be a rather bulky lamppost, but the constant stream of tourists obscures its true purpose. Upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that a person could comfortably fit inside. This is no ordinary lamppost. It's the smallest police station in the world. Built in the 1930s, this miniature station served as a discreet observation post. Officers would stand watch, one at a time, monitoring Trafalgar Square for pickpockets and other ne'er-do-wells who frequented the bustling public space. Even in the realm of science, where groundbreaking discoveries constantly reshape our understanding of the universe, mysteries persist. Imagine, for a moment, being plagued by a persistent, low-frequency hum, a sound that no one can identify or trace to its source. This is the reality for approximately 4% of the world's population, who experience this phenomenon known simply as the hum. The hum is not confined to a specific location. It's a global phenomenon, with reports originating from diverse regions. Depending on the area where it's perceived, It may be referred to as the Taos hum, the Auckland hum, or any number of other localized names. The sound itself is often described as being just below the threshold of human hearing. Imagine a sound, an unnerving hum that penetrates the walls of your home, growing louder as the night deepens. A sound that, once heard, can never be unheard. Some call it the hum, and its origins are shrouded in mystery. While some tales trace its roots back to London during the era of Charles Dickens, the author of A Christmas Carol, the earliest documented cases actually emerged from Bristol, UK in the mid-1970s. Scientists have proposed numerous theories to explain this perplexing phenomenon and why it affects only certain individuals. Yet a definitive answer remains elusive. Could it be the result of ocean waves reverberating along the seabed, causing the Earth to tremble as they collide with continental shelves? Or perhaps volcanic eruptions and seismic activity are to blame? Some even speculate about ultra-low-frequency radio signals used for submarine communication, or the more recent emergence of 5G technology. Then there's the upsweep, another enigmatic sound first detected in the vast expanse of the Pacific Ocean in 1991. This sound, powerful enough to be recorded across the entire ocean basin, is theorized to be linked to underwater volcanic activity. Intriguingly, its volume has diminished since its initial discovery, yet it remains detectable. Furthermore, the upsweep exhibits seasonal variations, reaching its peak intensity during the spring and fall months. Is this fluctuation related to seasonal changes deep within the ocean? The truth remains a mystery. Now, let's journey to the Sea of Galilee in Israel, where a peculiar cone-shaped monument lies submerged. This colossal structure, weighing a staggering 60,000 tons, was accidentally discovered during sonar scanning in 2003, although the findings weren't published until 2013. At some point in the distant past, rising waters engulfed the monument. Archaeologists remain baffled by its origin, purpose, and connection to any known civilization. This immense and unusual object continues to defy explanation. Our next destination is Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, a site of immense archaeological significance. Here, we find massive, intricately carved stones dating back approximately 11,000 years. To put that into perspective, these stones predate Stonehenge by a staggering 6,000 years. What makes Göbekli Tepe truly remarkable is that these stones were erected by ancient peoples before the advent of farming, metal tools, or pottery. This discovery challenges our conventional understanding of civilization's timeline, which traditionally places agriculture before monumental construction. The question then arises, what was the purpose of this site? Archaeologists believe it may have served as the world's oldest temple, a place of worship for ancient spirits. Prepare yourself for a tongue twister, Paleodictian Nodosum. This is the scientific name for a remarkable living fossil found in the depths of the ocean. These creatures create distinctive hexagonal burrows, yet scientists have been unable to identify the specific species responsible. What do we mean by living fossil? Paleodictian Nodosum creates burrows that are nearly identical to Paleodictian fossils found in ancient sediments. Is a worm-like animal responsible for these intricate structures? Scientists remain uncertain. One thing is clear. These are not random formations caused by geological forces. Speaking of fossils, feast your eyes on Godzillus, an informally named giant fossil discovered in 2011 by an amateur paleontologist, a scientist who dedicates their life to unearthing the history of life on Earth through the analysis of fossilized remains. Godzillus measures nearly 7 feet in length, and if stood upright, would tower at an impressive 9 feet. This fossil dates back 450 million years, to a time when Cincinnati was submerged beneath the waves. While some believe it to be a fossilized algae mat, other scientists hold differing views. Our journey now takes us to South America, where a vast network of tunnels stretches beneath the Earth. These tunnels, estimated to be between 8,000 and 10,000 years old, were initially discovered as a series of colossal burrows, remarkable for their size and neat construction. Geologists were astounded, stating they had never encountered such structures before. No known geological process could account for their formation. While researchers had been aware of these burrows since the 1930s, they initially believed them to be some form of archaeological construction. That was until they discovered enormous claw marks etched into the walls and ceilings. This led to the hypothesis that an extinct species was responsible for these massive excavations. Many geologists now believe that these are the burrows of giant ground sloths and armadillos, creatures that once roamed this land. This network represents the largest known burrow system from the Paleolithic age in the Amazon. Yet many questions remain unanswered. How could such deliberately constructed structures form naturally? Further investigation led to the discovery of another strange cave, hundreds of miles away from the initial tunnel system. Today, over 1,500 of these burrows have been identified, dating back to the Paleolithic period. Imagine a remote corner of Brazil, millions of years ago. Here, etched into the very bones of the earth, we find ancient caves, silent witnesses to epochs long past. But these aren't just any caves. What makes them truly remarkable are the intricate tunnels that snake and wind, connecting these subterranean chambers like a prehistoric labyrinth, hinting at secrets yet to be unearthed. Now, let's shift our gaze to Southeast Asia, to the tranquil waters of the Mekong River in Thailand. Picture this. Every year, as October arrives, the river comes alive with mysterious fireballs. Local legends whisper of the Naga, mythical serpent deities, calling to Buddha, signaling his return to Earth with these fiery bursts. A captivating myth, isn't it? But what does science have to say? Could these luminous orbs be ignited by some unknown flammable gas rising from the riverbed? The truth remains elusive. These Naga fireballs erupt from the water's surface, reaching heights of nearly 1,000 feet, resembling fleeting fireworks, their glow painted in hues of red and orange. And while we're indulging in captivating legends, who could forget the tale of Atlantis, the lost city swallowed by the ocean around 11,000 years ago? For centuries, scientists, treasure hunters, and philosophers alike have been consumed by the quest to find this legendary world. Could the Bimini Road hold a clue? In 1968, divers stumbled upon peculiar stones off the coast of North Bimini Island in the Bahamas. These stones appeared almost artificial, arranged in an orderly row, their spacing unnervingly precise. Initially, scientists were perplexed. However, carbon dating eventually revealed the truth. Geological forces over vast stretches of time had sculpted this road naturally. No tool marks, no signs of deliberate construction, just the patient hand of erosion. The search for Atlantis continues. Now picture this bizarre scene. You're strolling along a serene beach when suddenly dozens of octopuses emerge from the water, marching past you. Unbelievable, right? Yet, in 2017, a group in Wales witnessed this very spectacle. 20 to 30 octopuses crawling across the sand, their motives utterly unknown. The observers, concerned, examined the creatures for injuries but found none. They gently returned the octopuses to the sea. But even as the humans slept, these determined creatures continued their strange pilgrimage onto the shore. Experts remain baffled. Without a thorough physical examination, the reason for this unusual behavior remains a mystery. Overcrowding? Perhaps. Intriguingly, one theory suggests a link to the fishing industry. As larger predators of octopuses are hunted, the octopus population swells. Could this be driving them to seek new food sources or habitats, leading them to these desperate forays onto land? Without further research, however, these remain mere speculations. Our universe is full of mysteries. Consider our own sun. Scientists have recently detected a novel type of wave surging within its fiery depths. These waves move against the sun's rotation and with incredible speed, defying our current understanding. Researchers are working to understand the function of these waves. Decoding their role could unlock new insights into the dynamic processes occurring within our star. Let's return to the octopuses for a moment. These creatures are remarkably well-equipped, armed for survival in a challenging world. Now, let's journey to the heart of Vietnam, 1991. Deep within the dense, verdant jungles, a local logger stumbled upon a peculiar sight, a mysterious hole concealed amongst the foliage. As he peered into the darkness, a powerful wind rushed against his face, carrying with it the distinct sound of a subterranean river. Intrigued but cautious, the logger decided to return with a flashlight and rope. But upon his return, the cave had vanished, swallowed by the jungle. For years, he searched in vain. Finally, in the early 2000s, he rediscovered the hidden entrance. In 2009, he led a team of scientists to the site, and they were astounded. They had found Sondung, the largest cave in the world. The sheer scale of Sondung is breathtaking. A shout echoes for an eternity within its vast chambers. In places, the main passage soars to a height of 660 feet, more than half the height of the Empire State Building. The cave is so immense that an entire New York City block, complete with 40-story skyscrapers, could fit comfortably inside. This hidden labyrinth beneath the Vietnamese jungle shelters three of the world's largest caves, with Sondung reigning supreme. The interior of Sondung is a world unto itself, teeming with unique plant life, microclimates, and diverse landscapes. Incredibly, a genuine jungle thrives underground, sustained by sunlight streaming through collapsed sections of the ceiling. Towering stalactites, some reaching an astounding 250 feet in height, adorn the ceilings, testaments to the slow, relentless power of geological time. Imagine a world hidden beneath our feet, a realm of echoing chambers and silent stone. We find ourselves in a colossal cave system, its scale so immense that some of its passages dwarf even modern aircraft. Picture a Boeing passenger jet. Now imagine a corridor longer than that, carved by time and water. These subterranean cathedrals have been forming for hundreds of thousands, even millions of years. Some of the limestone deposits that make up these caves are relics from over 450 million years ago, predating the age of dinosaurs. But this isn't just a dry, rocky expanse. Here, in the heart of the earth, life flourishes. Besides the unique underground jungle ecosystems that have sprung up within these caverns, a network of rivers snakes its way through the darkness. These rivers are born from rainwater, seeping down from the surface through openings in the cave's roof. They carve smooth, swift paths, like natural water slides beckoning the adventurous. But beware. A ride on one of these subterranean rivers could lead you into the very heart of the cave's labyrinthine depths. These twisting passages stretch for miles, their ultimate destinations still unknown. In 2018, a team of intrepid divers experienced this firsthand. Venturing into the unknown, they stumbled upon previously undiscovered areas within the Sondung cave system in Vietnam. The cave, already considered massive, revealed itself to be even larger than anyone had dared to imagine. Plunging into one of the cave's submerged lakes, they descended to a depth of 256 feet. There, at the bottom, they discovered a hidden tunnel. With a weighted line, they measured the tunnel's depth at a staggering 394 feet, its length extending for more than half a mile. And the full extent of this tunnel remains a mystery to this day. Adding to its grandeur, Sondung is also connected to another immense cave system. Beyond the treacherous labyrinths and surging rivers, Sondung reveals its hidden wonders. Vast chambers open up, revealing tranquil lakes reflecting the dim light. Dark corridors stretch into the distance, beckoning explorers to walk for hours through the heart of the mountain. This place is both breathtakingly beautiful and undeniably dangerous. But here's the truly incredible part. You can experience this wonder yourself. Since 2013, Sondung Cave has been open to tourists, offering a journey unlike any other. This isn't a leisurely stroll, it's an expedition that unfolds over several days. The first day and a half are spent traversing the third largest cave in the world, a prelude to the main event. Only then do you reach the entrance to Sondung itself. The path winds through rushing rivers, dense jungles teeming with life, rugged mountains, and treacherous rocky terrain. Along the way, you might encounter exotic birds, playful monkeys, and a host of other fascinating creatures. Many who have undertaken this journey claim that the path to the cave is even more awe-inspiring than the cave itself. Upon reaching your destination, you'll spend the next few days exploring the depths of Sondung. Accompanied by fellow adventurers, seasoned guides, and hardworking porters, you'll set up camp in a different location within the cave each night. Prepare to witness landscapes that defy description and to marvel at majestic fossils that are over 400 million years old. You might even find yourself drawn to the dark, inviting waters of the cave's subterranean lakes, perfect for a refreshing swim. These adventurous expeditions are gaining popularity year after year, drawing those who seek the extraordinary. Many who have experienced Sondung call it the most incredible place they have ever seen. Now, let's journey to another remarkable cave, this one nestled on the island of Flores in Indonesia. While smaller in scale than Sondung, this cave holds secrets that have rewritten our understanding of human history. In 2003, a team of scientists made a groundbreaking discovery here. Ancient artifacts, including primitive tools fashioned from sharpened stones. These findings suggested that hundreds of thousands of years ago, this cave was home to our distant ancestors. But the most astonishing find was yet to come. A remarkably well-preserved skeleton of a female. This woman stood only 3 1/2 feet tall, roughly the height of an average adult's waistline. Despite her diminutive stature, she showed no signs of spinal problems or bone development issues. This skeleton, along with others discovered in the cave, belonged to a previously unknown species of human ancestor. Scientists name this species Homo floresiensis, but they are more commonly known as hobbits. This particular female weighed between 35 and 79 pounds. Analysis of her skull and bones indicated that she was approximately 30 years old at the time of her death. The hobbits likely inhabited the Earth between 190,000 and 50,000 years ago, raising the possibility that they may have even encountered the ancestors of modern humans. Our next stop takes us to Turkey, where a seemingly ordinary home renovation led to an extraordinary discovery. Imagine you're cleaning out your old house, discarding unwanted items. The final task is the basement, a place you rarely visit and know little about. Deciding to convert it into a usable room, you begin tearing down a wall. Suddenly, you uncover a hidden entrance, a tunnel leading into the darkness below. Intrigued, you venture into the cave and discover a sprawling underground city. This is precisely what happened in Turkey in 1963. A local resident stumbled upon a secret passage in his basement, revealing a lost city hidden beneath his home. This subterranean metropolis was vast, capable of housing approximately 20,000 people, along with their livestock and ample food supplies. This wasn't just a haphazard collection of tunnels. It was a fully functional city, complete with a chapel, a school, stables, kitchens, and defensive walls. All the hallmarks of a thriving civilization. The city was constructed during the Byzantine era, between the years 780 and 1180. But this wasn't the only underground settlement in the region. It was connected to a network of other subterranean tunnels and towns, stretching for miles beneath the surface. Finally, let's conclude our journey in one of the most unique and unsettling caves on Earth. We travel to southeastern Romania, near the Black Sea. Here, on a desolate and windswept plain, lies a cave unlike any other. Imagine a hidden world, a subterranean realm untouched by sunlight. Here, deep beneath the surface, lies a cave. Not just any cave, but a portal to an alien ecosystem. The entrance is an unassuming hole in the ground, a dark maw leading into the unknown. As we venture deeper, the very air changes. Our instruments scream warnings. The atmosphere is thick with hydrogen sulfide and carbon dioxide, a cocktail of poisonous gases. The oxygen level, normally a comfortable 20%, plummets to a mere 10%. Without an oxygen tank, breathing becomes a struggle, a desperate gasp for life. This is a poisoned world, seemingly devoid of life as we know it. Yet, appearances can be deceiving. This cave teems with life, a vibrant, bizarre community of 48 distinct species. And the astonishing truth: 33 of these are entirely new to science, organisms never before seen by human eyes. Creatures lurk in the shadows, beings that could easily trigger primal fears. Imagine pale, ghostly snails and spiders, their bodies bleached white by the eternal darkness, crawling silently across the damp walls. In the murky water, translucent shrimp swim blindly, their forms barely visible. On the cave floor, white millipedes with enormous, extravagant antennae navigate the Stygian gloom. And then there's the scorpion, a spectral predator with a transparent exoskeleton, unlike any scorpion known to exist. Nothing here resembles the familiar animals of the sunlit world. Every creature is an albino, devoid of pigment, adapted to a life without light. They lack eyes, those windows to the world, but compensate with elongated limbs and sensitive antennae, feeling their way through the darkness. Plants, of course, cannot survive in this environment. No sunlight penetrates this far, and without sunlight, there is no photosynthesis, no life-giving oxygen. So, how does this alien ecosystem thrive? The answer lies in the water, in a strange, unsettling foam that coats the surfaces of lakes and puddles. This foam is not inert matter. It is a living, breathing organism, a vast colony of billions of bacteria known as autotrophs. Unlike plants which rely on photosynthesis, these bacteria employ chemosynthesis. They absorb the abundant carbon dioxide in the cave and, through a unique chemical process, secrete microscopic particles of food. These particles become the foundation of the food chain. Bacteria consume the particles, larger organisms prey on the bacteria, and so on. In this way, even in the absence of sunlight, life finds a way. This cave is a testament to the power of evolution, a completely isolated biological system, a world apart from our own. Now let's shift our focus across the globe to the sun-drenched islands of the Caribbean. Here we find evidence of early human inhabitants. For a long time, historians believed that the Taino people were the first to settle the Greater Antilles, arriving long before Columbus set foot on these shores. But recent discoveries have challenged this long-held belief. Archaeological evidence reveals the presence of an even earlier group, a people known as the Archaic people. These early inhabitants were skilled artisans, particularly adept at working with stone. They crafted a variety of polished tools, including hammers, axes, and other implements. How they achieved such precision without modern equipment remains a mystery, a testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness. Scientists are now searching for ancient burial grounds, necropolises, and other archaeological sites in the hope of uncovering more clues about the lives and culture of these enigmatic people. Not far from the coast of Florida, another intriguing pre-Columbian settlement has been unearthed, but these ancient dwellers seem more concerned with personal adornment than with crafting stone tools. Archaeologists have discovered a complex of 37 oyster shell rings, remnants of a thriving community. Within these rings, they found evidence of households where the inhabitants meticulously crafted beads from the shells of marine creatures. These beads were not merely decorative trinkets. In ancient societies, beads served as powerful social symbols, indicators of status, wealth, and power. People would sew them onto their clothing to display their position in the social hierarchy. Sometimes archaeologists strike gold, unearthing entire lost cities. This is precisely what happened to Eleni Korka, a Greek archaeologist, back in 2018. After a painstaking search that spanned 34 years, she rediscovered the lost city of Tenea. Tenea was more than just a city. It was a legend, a mythical settlement founded by Trojan refugees. Ancient texts described it as a place of immense wealth, and the texts, it turns out, were right. The archaeological dig yielded a treasure trove of artifacts, including around 200 coins and an array of exquisite jewelry. Among the finds was an iron ring bearing a seal, a symbol of authority and power. They even found a gold coin, believed to be Charon's obol, used to pay for passage to the afterlife. The people of that era firmly believed in an afterlife and that a toll was required to reach it. The discovery of clay fragments, stone structures, and marble floors allows us to reconstruct a picture of their homes and lives. The archaeologist also unearthed a collection of vases, providing further insights into their artistic sensibilities. Finally, let's journey to northern Spain, to the cave of Altamira. Here, hidden deep within the earth, lies one of the earliest examples of human artistic expression. The Paleolithic cave paintings of Altamira are remarkable not only for their age, but also for their vibrant colors. Unlike many other prehistoric artworks, these paintings are not monochrome, They combine multiple pigments to create stunningly lifelike images. These masterpieces remained hidden for millennia, only coming to light in 1868. Today, the Cave of Altamira is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a testament to the enduring power of human creativity. And despite their incredible age, these paintings remain remarkably well preserved, a window into the minds of our distant ancestors. Imagine a world untouched by time, where secrets lay hidden for centuries, waiting to be unearthed. In the depths of a cave, far removed from the ravages of weather and the outside world, prehistoric masterpieces have survived, perfectly preserved. Now, let's journey to England in 2009. Picture Terry Herbert, a man with a metal detector, a member of the Blockwitch Research and Metal Detecting Club. He's walking across a freshly plowed field in Staffordshire, hoping to find something special. He couldn't have imagined the scale of what he was about to uncover. He stumbled upon what scientists would later call the Staffordshire Hoard, the largest collection of Anglo-Saxon gold and silver ever discovered. The list of items is staggering. 11 pounds of gold, 3 pounds of silver, and roughly 3,500 pieces of jewelry. It's no wonder this find became known as the Staffordshire Hoard. The Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery, along with the Potteries Museum, pooled their resources, acquiring the entire collection for over $3 million. Messages in bottles, a romantic image from countless films, are more than just a cultural trope. They're a surprisingly effective method of preserving information, as demonstrated by the Dead Sea Scrolls. In the 1940s, Bedouin shepherds discovered 7 scrolls nestled within clay jars, hidden in a cave. These ancient texts were determined to be roughly 2,000 years old. But this discovery was only the beginning. The Bedouins sold their finds, and others continued the search, unearthing even more scrolls. The most recent discovery occurred in 2021, and who knows what other secrets still lie hidden. Another fascinating find from the depths of a cave is a painted shell, unearthed in northern Italy. Scientists believe that Neanderthals collected these fossils. This discovery challenges our preconceptions. Neanderthals were often considered primitive, but this painted shell suggests a more complex and artistic side to their nature. Rewind to 2004. Robert Muckle, an archaeology professor, hears whispers of a peculiar site hidden within the forests of British Columbia's North Shore Mountains. A few old cans and a saw blade had been found, leading some to believe it was an old logging camp. However, a meticulous excavation, spanning 14 years, revealed something far more intriguing. It wasn't a logging camp at all, but a long-lost Japanese settlement. Archaeologists unearthed approximately 1,000 artifacts. Delicate white and blue rice bowls, teapots, pocket watches, sake bottles, and buttons. The ceramics were fragmented, with only hundreds of pieces surviving. Robert Muckle mentioned the discovery of remnants of a bathhouse. The community was small, consisting of only around 14 houses. Scientists believe they lived there in secrecy, hidden from the world. Throughout history, our tastes have evolved. Fashion changes, houses are redesigned, and technology marches forward. But one thing remains constant: our love of food. Scientists have managed to unearth some of the oldest examples of our favorite foods. Examining ancient pottery, they discovered traces of beloved dishes dating back to around 2000 BCE, all the way in Sicily. And what was this ancient delicacy? Not pizza, not pasta, but olive oil. And there's more. Researchers in Egypt discovered a lumpy substance within ancient pottery. It turned out to be cheese, dating back to the 13th century BCE. Imagine the aroma of a 3,000-year-old bacteria-ridden cheese. Intriguingly, this cheese was no ordinary dairy product. Scientists believe it was made with a blend of milks, a mixture of cow's milk and sheep or goat's milk. You might be wondering, what about bread? Bread is a staple in nearly every culture, with each civilization boasting its own unique variety. Scientific evidence confirms that bread was one of the first dishes humans learned to prepare. A team of archaeologists discovered bread that was over 14,400 years old. The fascinating part? At that time, humans were still hunter-gatherers. This ancient bread predates the dawn of agriculture by a staggering 4,000 years. There is still so much to uncover about the ancient world. And now, For a bonus fact,